there he is. Oh, I got him.
Boats, our passion for fishing is obvious. Whether it's a pro event or fishing with our family and friends,
we truly love the sport of fishing.
That's why our goal is to make every single Phoenix boat that goes out the door the best fishing platform it can be in both design and construction.
We love to fish as much as anyone, and we believe it shows in every boat we build.
Phoenix Boats, built by anglers for anglers.
Hey Bass members, Dale Jr. here. As an avid outdoorsman, it is great to see that Nationwide supports conservation efforts to preserve fisheries and waterways. Did you know that you can get a special discount on auto, boat insurance, and more with Nationwide? Call this number or go to nationwide.com/bass to learn more. Nationwide is on your side.
Succeeding at the highest levels of fishing requires intense drive. Doing so with a boat that merely suffices isn't good enough. To lead the pack, you need a top-performing boat that gives you a clear view of the goal. A powerful boat that accelerates you to the top of the leaderboard. Triton is always looking one step ahead. That's why it's the driving force of performance fishing.
Cherokee Casino Tahlequah is now open. More entertainment, dining, and convention options at the new Cherokee Casino property. With over 525 of today's most exciting electronic games, a 144-seat restaurant loaded with all your favorites, a brand new grab-and-go cafe, rock and live music venue, plus a full-service bar and complimentary non-alcoholic beverages. The game is better than ever at the new Cherokee Casino Tahlequah, now open 3307 South 7 Clans Avenue.
Sleek new design with easy control file. The clearest images underwater with uncompromising range. Live mapping from the touchscreen. View notifications, video, even Google Maps on screen. And for the first time ever, real-time view of fish movements with live sight sonar. HDS Live. New from Lowrance.
This reel allows you to cover more water, make more casts, giving you more opportunities to catch more fish. The new Revo Rocket, Abu Garcia for life.
Craig Morgan here to put a plastic drop-in bed liner head-to-head with our Line-X spray-on bed liner. Let's see which one comes out ahead. Let's face it, these drop-in bed liners look cheap. They're made of low-quality black plastic that's sure to fade, crack, or warp over time. Line-X, on the other hand, can be color-matched, is fade-resistant, and sprayed seamlessly over your existing bed. It's guaranteed to perform for life. So drop the drop-in and Line-X it!
Get action. Do things. Be sane. Don't fritter away your time. Create. Act. Take a place wherever you are. And be somebody. Get action.
the pinnacle of super high output, 4-stroke outboard performance, you'll find Yamaha VMAX SHO. Yamaha's game-changing SHO technology. From exhilarating V6 models to the sleek inline 4s, there's a VMAX SHO for everything from bass to bonefish. It's an extended family of 4-strokes engineered for lightweight, inspiring performance, and rock-solid reliability. Discover VMAX SHO and elevate your expectations.
It's the Cherokee Casino Tahlequah Bassmaster Elite at Lake Tenkiller, being brought to you live by Cherokee Casino Tahlequah.
Okay, we're back open for business now, ladies and gentlemen. We are up and running here. Day number 2, Lake Tenkiller, final event of the season for the Bassmaster Elite Series 2019. Big day number 1, which resulted in lots of changes up and down our points races. Right now, though, let's take a look at our leaderboard. And right now, it's Kyle Monte having his best tournament of the year by far with a substantial lead over Cory Johnson, Caleb Sumrall, Cory Johnston, both moving up the leaderboard. Jesse Takarani started in the top 10, remaining there. Harvey Horn has also moved in. Steve Kennedy, a limit in the boat. So lots of developments.
Got a Frank Talley sighting in there, Tom.
Frank the Tank in there. Right. Yes, absolutely. Big doings, big happenings going on here. And we feel so bad about not having been here for that, but we'll explain.
So somebody hit a power box or something.
We were totally without power.
Wow.
It was Squirrels went on strike. Me and Ronnie went over, gave some acorns at the substation. It's good now.
Okay.
Whatever that meant. Okay. So we are going to take a look at Lake Tenkiller right here on our Humminbird Lay of the Lake. This is going to be a parade.
Yep.
This is going to be a parade of all the anglers and where they're fishing, and very, very frighteningly similar to yesterday as we fly up Lake Tenkiller. You're looking at about, call it 20 to 25 miles long from the lower lake here. As we start to get into the mid-lake section, you're going to notice one thing, really looking at this map, a lot like yesterday, when you get to that mid-lake area, seems to be where most of the pressure is at. The other thing that we've noticed transpiring, a lot of the bigger stringers that have come yesterday, not a lot of big stringers yet today, but we've heard from young Ron Moore that there has been some fish catches in the last few minutes. A lot of the more solid stringers, a lot closer to the main lake.
And that's the way. 75 today, 75 fished yesterday, and after today's weigh-in, only 35 will go on.
Only two anglers above the bridge in the river section.
Yeah, that's kind of bizarre, and very few people. You know, you think the summertime going to be more people down by the dam too. That hasn't happened all week long. You know how that works.
I wasn't ready for it. Wasn't ready for a camera shot.
Well, I tell you what. Sincerely, we lost power for an hour here. Don't want to go through that again. We lose every bit of communication with you. I was sincerely. It might another few minutes. Cannibalism might have broken out.
It got tense. There was some. A little bit of violence started in the studio immediately, and I tried to steal things. That's my nature.
Lucky for you that lights didn't flicker back on again and see all of that. Exactly. Ronnie and Such are back, are safe. Right. We want you to know that they're safe. There they are. If I hold up today's newspaper, Such, so we'll know that these pictures were taken today.
That's right.
Very good.
All right, so we're back now.
We're back now.
Yes. Everybody's going to tighten up and getting along a lot better. But that's the first time.
I don't know about that. Don't promise things that you can't deliver on.
Let's just say we got to see everybody's true colors.
Yeah,
throughout that power outage.
I did not scream. His reporting. No.
Here we go. To get everyone caught up, let's launch right into a very appropriate time for it right now for our Toyota Midday Report. What we have seen so far today. Started out with 6 of our top 6 anglers on camera. One of them, Caleb Sumrall. He was devoted to what really had scored big in the first hour yesterday.
Really throughout practice, Caleb Sumrall. There's his first keeper of the day. Just a little 12-inch keeper spotted bass, but what was interesting is he was one of the only anglers yesterday to figure out where a lot of those fish that were in the bushes throughout practice, water dropping, water receding, pulling them out of the bushes. This right here is while we were away with Caleb Sumrall. Good one. One of the first keeper smallmouth we've had on camera.
Ooh, that's one of the better ones too that we've seen. Maybe the best one we've seen all week here.
But he has lived really with a topwater bait almost all day long. Kind of bouncing through shallow water back areas to more main lake looking areas like this, steeper banks.
Carl Jochimson, another angler. Oh yeah, our guy. Pulling for Carl, of course, to do well here, and like everybody, basically, and over a nice oversized.
Exactly right.
Over the limit.
3/4 ounce jig, living out on main lake points, not catching a lot of fish. But Carl said he had a fantastic practice, and today just been slow and steady for Carl.
3 fish there.
You never know.
Cory Johnson, about 4, almost under 5 pounds. Kyle Monte having his tournament of the year right here at Lake Tenkiller. Started out with a really nice largemouth.
Yeah, it's fair to say that Kyle Monte has won the power pole replay of the day thus far, and potentially, as you said, Tom Sanders, potentially Kyle Monte with the power pole replay of the year.
In the running, definitely,
Absolutely
most definitely
right.
in the running.
Really living off of 150 to 100-yard stretch out on the main lake. Hard bottom, a lot of rock, a little brush mixed in there. Did not start here, but said this is where he did the majority of his damage yesterday, and kind of just manage this area because he feels, as he told us, that he could be a winning spot if left alone.
Okay, that's a big if. We're on one of the probably the smallest fishery of the year that we are on in Lake Tenkiller. Take a look at it right there. It's only about 13,000 acres. So, but still, it's been fairly orderly out there. No one really just horning in on anyone else's spot. Too bad, Kyle Monte, as we see right now, still being left alone. And let's get out live now to Kyle Monte. That was your Toyota Midday Report.
Just missed a fish. Kind of slowed down considering changing areas, but I'm worried to death that somebody else is going to be here. When I first got here, there was another competitor on it. This morning, first thing, there was a local guy on it. The other competitor left. That was nice, but basically I'm looking at it as 2 more 16-inchers, and I'm right where I need to be, and I definitely think this is a place I can do it. They're here. I just think I need to let them rest. I've been trolling back and forth, so I'm not sitting in one spot, but also want to consider fishing the bank some more with the conditions. I mean, there's got to be a bite up shallow somewhere, but I want to get over that 10-pound, 12-pound mark doing this before I go venturing out. But we'll see how it goes. If it stays slow for a couple more hours, and we may have to just put our head down and fish the bank. But I haven't caught any really big fish all week. That one I weighed in yesterday, my biggest was 310. So most of the fish I'm catching are between 2 3/4 and 3.5 pounds. But I think if I can average that, that's what I need to do to win. And that's all I'm really worried about. So I'm not in it for points or the AOY championship. I just didn't have a good year. But it's nothing $100,000 can't fix.
Well, he's the man in that position right now. Absolutely. Just the trouble is going to be repeating this day and yesterday a couple more times.
From what we've seen so far with a lot of the other leaders, he needs to stay right there. There.
Don't.
Yes.
It ain't broke. Don't fix it. Over to Cory Johnson. Some more midday report. The success he had this boy, it is getting up. We had talked about 20 miles an hour plus today. I think we got that going right now.
We're back up and running. What's been going on the last hour or so?
So things have got pretty quiet for us. We got three in the well, 2 spots, 1 nice largemouth. This is kind of how it was yesterday, and I only had 6 keeper bites, but they were all good ones. I've got one of the right ones, but different conditions, and everything's changed right now, and those little voices are starting to creep in, like what I should do. Do I keep persisting with this, or do I move? But I have touched on a bit of power fishing. I've gone up shallow, I've cranked, thrown my top water, just keep checking it, and I haven't had any bites to tell me that that's going down. So I'm just going to keep mixing it up. I'm going to keep out on track with my offshore stuff because I just know this is how I can win this tournament. If I can just get it dialed in a little bit better. And then over the next hour or so, I'm just going to keep getting up to the bank and hitting some of these wind-blown points and fishing some stuff that, you know, I'm sure they're catching them doing it, but it's hard to just put everything down and change. But I'm going to have to. I can't stay too stubborn and not catch them.
You know, one thing that's interesting is we know that Carl is addicted to throwing a glide bait, throwing the glider.
Oh, yeah, very.
When he says the
big
voices
proponent,
are coming in, do you think it's that glide bait telling him to pick it up? Do you think that's what it is?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
The glider has control over him.
I think you're right. I think it
Gliders.
controls him.
We know who's in charge.
He does not control the glider. The glider can. Well done, Ron.
No, I stole that from y'all during the darkness.
I don't think that was us. It was dark. How could you tell?
All right, guys, still pounding away with this swim bait. Trying to make the adjustments out here. These fish, I see them actually deeper than I did yesterday. It was a little strange, but kind of normal behavior with smallmouth. Gets cloudy, they go deeper, not shallower.
I'd like to see if he'll show us that.
So I'm still trying to pick up a big smallie, and in the meanwhile, picking away at the spots when I see one. I just had one that was 12 inches. I know it's a keeper, but it was barely, and I just threw it back. I don't want to take a chance getting a penalty. But this wind is, it should help, and that's the goal today.
Ronnie said he was as dialed into this tournament and felt as comfortable on this lake as he has really all season long, but it's been kind of slow today, especially for the numbers that he thought he was capable of catching on that swim bait.
Told you, he kind of carved out something unique there. Right?
Yes, he said he felt that he was throwing something different, fishing away from a lot of the crowd, that he doesn't think really found this kind of, this. He said it's a true pattern on this lake. What's funny was he also said that whatever swim bait he's throwing, said it was very color specific to where he could not get bit, found this color yesterday, and that's when it really turned on for him. We can get a picture of that. Maybe
it'd be interesting to see, yeah.
I'd love to see it.
Should be a spot right on that point right there. Maybe more than one.
Well, of course, the leaderboard here, Tenkiller is tied very closely, and more closely maybe than we expected, to what was going to be the Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year leaderboard. Still Scott Canterbury, but after day number one, see what happened. There you go from a 17-point lead, double digits down to 2 points.
Is this a mix? Is this a blend, a sesh of Facebook Live and Bassmaster Live? I'm confused.
I have no idea.
I don't even know
I
where
don't know what
those
are.
We are at chronologically in this day at this time. I don't know if this is even live.
I think we're live.
Taking a look right there at that.
We'll go as live. We'll go as live.
We did get some word. I believe you got to talk to Davey a few minutes ago, just after the power outage, that Scott Canterbury was still on zero.
Yeah, he had been with him most of the morning. Davey had to make a quick pit stop in the marina and is going back out to check him to make sure he's still on zero.
This doesn't seem like a lake that you'd run out of gas.
No, I don't know. I don't know exactly what it was, but yeah.
Okay.
You know,
we'll look into it.
Yeah.
Stetson Blaylock. Cory Johnston has not had a huge day, but every hour he's put one in the live well.
That other area I found yesterday, so I caught my biggest one off of it, but there's just not as much there. I got a good mark right here if I can get them to bite.
I believe that was Kyle Monty we were listening to just a second ago there, I think.
Right.
Caleb Summerall had labored very, very hard this morning, up shallow.
Yes.
Not much to show for it. One small.
But was getting
spot.
bit.
Yeah,
he
was getting
bit. Way more consistent than anybody else we had a camera with this morning.
He's out of range right now, Seltzer's, but Stetson Blaylock just caught his third fish, a 2-pounder.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So
That changes
second
things.
place.
Okay.
313 back of Kyle Monty.
See if we can get Stetson back up. Love to see if he's totally switched gears. You could tell he was talking early that he was thinking of bailing on his deep water. Caught him on a jig yesterday, a real heavy, shaky head.
Did he mention anything about marinas to you?
Did not.
Because he was a little ornery yesterday with his Marshall. Remember with the Skype camera?
I do.
And it sounded like marina.
Don't show
He
this,
said it,
don't
yes.
show.
You thought you heard the word marina?
Either that or I saw a brief float of a dock when the camera was shifting.
I've been back to them because they were too small.
I see, what,
I'm
6
gonna go
limits
here in a
today
little
so far, Such? And one of them, Rick Clun, in 36th place.
Yeah, just a handful.
Yeah. The winner of our first tournament of the season. Steve Kennedy, our only top 10 angler according to Bass Track right now, with a limit of just under 9 pounds.
Hey, Ron, no names, but looking at the map, are the marinas, you know, all the boat slips, are they getting a lot of pressure today compared to yesterday?
Something a little darker, maybe.
Well, the one that produced a victory last year in the College Series only has a boat.
Okay.
A couple other ones have some boats in them, for sure, but not anything super crazy, no.
Okay.
Problem with this is I may not get another bite all day. But if I do, I'll be where I need to be.
I think I've lost more heads here than I have all year long.
Suckers are all sitting up there.
Yeah.
You hit it.
I'll be around when that big thing falls.
Just a reminder to those looking at Bass Track, you still have that 20 to 25 guys with no Marshall, no Bass Track for their boats, so the leaderboard will fluctuate for sure. If your guy's in the cut and he came from 60th, 70th place and he's inside the cut right now, probably not going to be that case at weigh-in because all the people fill in above them. But we did have 2 zeros yesterday and quite a few guys catching less than 3
Those
fish.
zeros. Yuski has a limit, and Clark just caught his third fish.
Here he comes. He's coming straight down for it.
One bite off each of these areas.
Eat it. Huh.
There's one of our, I think, 8th place in our Dick's Sporting Goods Bassmaster Rookie of the Year race. Derek Hudnall right there. Derek, tell us how it's going today.
Guys, you know, I got a limit in the boat, which, you know, is definitely a start. So, trying to throw some big copper, trying to take a chance and try. But, you know, a little better start than yesterday. I really struggled to catch 5 yesterday. You know, I don't have much weight. I've got keeper spots and a keeper smallmouth. Figured for the rest of the day, we just throw some big baits and take some chances and see if we can get a big one or two to go with them.
It's a little scratchy on the audio there. We can't hear Derek. We're going to watch him a little bit here, though.
I heard him say he's got a limit in the boat already.
He's up to 16th on Bass Track. It was 41st. He could be gaining the 13 points he needs to slip inside the Classic cut of 42nd. He's 44th right now.
Well,
did a story on him that it would be a pretty miraculous climb for him missing Hartwell.
There he is right there at 8th place. Dick's Sporting Goods Rookie of the Year race, just under Garrett Paquette.
Sitting in 8th place in the Rookie of the Year watch, like Suchi said, missed an entire tournament.
Yeah. Think of the possibilities if he had
sitting
able to
in
get them all in.
44th in Angler of the Year, so 2 spots out, like we were talking about. Right there, just single-digit points from making the Classic.
Well, one of the few who are sporting limits at this point on day number 2 on Lake Tenkiller, and that means that scoreboard is going to continue to be quite volatile. And big changes on the way throughout the remainder of today. Working our way towards a 3:15 start for the weigh-in there at Chicken Creek Landing. And see what changes are wrought today. Yesterday was huge, giant reshuffle.
Thought it was interesting to see Lee Livesey on the stage yesterday with a couple nice smallmouth here off of Tenkiller.
Lee Livesey definitely been one of our stars this year from the very start.
I got to see his stardom. I went down to Lake Fork to shoot some videos with Lee Livesey, and there was like 20, 25 people come up to him just throughout the hour and a half that I spent with him. He's not only making a great impression on the Elite Series in his first year, but dang local legend.
Well, you saw that people in that video reacted to that. That
viral scene.
Yeah,
if y'all
people
hadn't seen it.
at the Wings place were just going nuts watching that scene on TV. There's your TH Marine Weather Watch right now, 71 degrees, full 20 degrees cooler than what it was on day number 1 and throughout most of practice, or all of practice, I should say. Wind southeast at 8 miles an hour. I think it's gusting a little bit more than that at certain sectors of the lake.
Let's see if Kyle can dial us in on the depth and what the bottom contour is here. Try to get that a little earlier, but while he's working on stuff, maybe dial us in.
I bet it'll do it.
See how long it takes us to hang this thing up.
Kyle's been very
I mean,
fastidious.
when I'm up on the trolling motor, I'm looking for the actual fish itself, but when I found the spot, I was looking for brush, and this spot right here has a lot of it. There's a couple hard spots out here on the shallower side of it, kind of like gravel, but I don't think these fish are really, relating to the cover as much. I mean, they should have been in the brush really good yesterday with the conditions, and they were still, just kind of around it instead of being directly in. I caught one dropping straight into a pile, but everything else has been just kind of roaming around. And that's typical when they're following the bait. They're not really worried about a piece of cover as much unless the bait's there. And right now the bait is just scattered all over the place.
Kyle's best finish this year, 25th at the Toyota Bassmaster Texas Fest on Lake Fork.
Oh, yes. Boy, it's been slow, but he is still leading this tournament.
Yeah, he's hanging in there. Kyle Monty took over that lead probably the first hour and a half of fishing out there and remains on top. Stetson Blaylock fell down as far as 5th or 6th place, and now he's clawed his way back in there within about 4 pounds. Inside of 4 pounds behind Kyle Monty. Carl Jochimson hanging in there today. We saw Caleb Summerall updated while we were down, and Cory Johnston is on the board as well. We'll take a break and come right back.
The Cherokee Casino Tahlequah Bassmaster Elite at Lake Tenkiller is brought to you by Minn Kota, Abu Garcia, Berkeley, Humminbird, Mercury, and by Toyota.
Cherokee Casino Tahlequah is now open. More entertainment, dining, and convention options at the new Cherokee Casino property. With over 525 of today's most exciting electronic games, a 144-seat restaurant loaded with all your favorites, a brand new grab-and-go cafe, rock and live music venue, plus a full-service bar and complimentary non-alcoholic beverages. The game is better than ever at the new Cherokee Casino Tahlequah, now open 3307 South 7 Clans Avenue.
Nice bed liner. Did you know you can spray Line-X on just about anything that needs protection?
More than just bed liners?
You got it. How about a park bench? A trailer? Van liner. Work truck. Motorcycle.
Wow. So what else can you do with that snappy finger trick?
It's pretty Line-X specific.
Oh. Do you have my keys?
Oh. Here you go.
Really?
Go beyond the bed liner and Line-X it.
For the bass that thinks it's a bulldog. For the walleye that thinks it's a freight train. For the tuna that thinks it's a torpedo. For the tarpon that thinks it's a tarpon. You need the mono that thinks it's a braid. Suffix Advance. New Advanced Mono with HMPE braid molecules for strength, abrasion resistance, and low stretch. Suffix Advance. The mono that thinks it's a braid.
You sons of fishes. Ain't enough fish on this lake for 2 clubs.
Really? Well, we see plenty of fish live with Panoptics.
Yep. Dang, we should get Panoptics. Maybe we'll just take yours.
What's going on here? You boys have license?
Yes, sir. Nope.
There he is.
Oh, I got him.
It's time to take fishing to a bold, new place. Berkeley Powerbait Max Set. These baits feature a revolutionary new material that releases a supercharged scent field. They attract more fish and trigger more strikes than even original power bait. And all remain soft and flexible out of the package, so they're ready to fish. 10 forage-inspired natural matte colors come alive in the water. Berkley Power Bait Max Set. Fish bite and won't let go.
Succeeding at the highest levels of fishing requires intense drive. Doing so with a boat that merely suffices isn't good enough. To lead the pack, you need a top-performing boat that gives you a clear view of the goal. A powerful boat that accelerates you to the top of the leaderboard. Triton is always looking one step ahead. That's why it's the driving force of performance fishing.
Ever since you could remember, it's always been there. It's a resource that has guided you. From it all, you've learned, you've applied, and you've become a Bassmaster.
He is your champion, ladies and
Dream
gentlemen!
big. Join B.A.S.S.
At Phoenix Boats, our passion for fishing is obvious. Whether it's a pro event or fishing with our family and friends, we truly love the sport of fishing. That's why our goal is to make every single Phoenix boat that goes out the door the best fishing platform it can be in both design and construction.
We love to fish as much as anyone, and we believe it shows in every boat we build.
Phoenix Boats, built by anglers for anglers.
Almost time for me to go.
Well, what if I
drove me home?
What if we lost track of time?
What if we took a leap of faith?
What if you
missed my flight next week?
The all-new RAV4. Toyota. Let's go places.
Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing is back, and it's time for you to get in on the action. Sign up for free and pick your 5-man team to compete against your friends and thousands of Bass fans from around the country. How will you stack up against the best? The grand prize winner will receive a 2019 Nitro Z18 boat with Mercury motor worth over $32,000. The 11 weekly winners will each receive a $2,500 Bass Pro Shops gift card and another $500 if you're a Bass member. Sign up and pick your team today at BassmasterFantasy.com.
It's the Cherokee Casino Tahlequah Bassmaster Elite at Lake Tenkiller, being brought to you live by Cherokee Casino Tahlequah.
Bassmaster Live, we got more fishing for you here from Lake Tenkiller on day number 2.
Yes.
What we have seen so far today, well, some guys trying to move up. Guys trying to hold their spot if they started out good. Kyle Monty right here. Great catch to start his day and move to the very top of the leaderboard.
Now, we were grossly off yesterday guessing what the top weight was going to be. We asked our viewers that hung with us yesterday, and we were off, Ron.
Most of the people were with you for 12.4.
Okay.
And then a good percentage was on the other end of the spectrum with my high guess of 13.6. And it was 2 pounds heavier than that.
Okay, so we're
pretty good at this thing.
In a second, not really.
Who knew?
In a second, I'd like to guess what the leading weight will be here after day number 2.
Oh, you like to play with fire each day.
Yep. Just grinding it out. We had, like I said, our morning's been pretty slow so far. We got 2 in the box right now, 1 good one, 1 little one. And right now I feel like I'm at least 1 fish away from staying into the cut tomorrow. So I'm gonna try to stick with this big fish pattern and try to get 5 overs in the boat, 5 fish over 16 inches. I was a little scrambled this morning. Some of the stuff I was running yesterday muddied up, had too much wind on it and stuff like that. So I've ran a ton of new water today, and none of it seemed to work. it appears that morning bite is still just a morning bite, regardless of clouds or not. I felt like they just stuck to the buzz bait. The shallow fish would have. Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna get many bites doing this, but when I do get a bite, it's probably gonna be a good one. So I'm gonna grind it out with this, stick it out, run some windy points, try to put 5 in the boat.
Got to watch Caleb this morning fishing real shallow, more of those flatter pockets with a buzz bait. Goes to the whopper plopper when he gets on those steeper, kind of bluff style banks. It's where one of his giants came from yesterday. Said it came over 80 feet of water. Creep around the corner right now back to Carl Johnson, which looks like he is not that far. It looks like he's on a different lake than Caleb Summer.
Gosh, yeah. It's howling out there. It's a little brighter now than it was an hour and a half ago, but
bright skies trying to.
What's that?
Bright skies trying to peek through here. Carl, we're live on that mix. What's your? Tell me about your jig rod setup there. You're favoring this week.
Yep, been using the Miller rod, Jig Freak Power for 3/4 and standard Jig Freak for the 1/2 ounce. It's the one I've been using for years, ever since way before Gunnersville. It's one of the best jig rods I think designed. There's one. Beer keeper. Oh no, it's a largemouth. $15.25. Heartbreakers. That's what they are. They are heartbreakers.
again, if you're just picking up with a 16-inch minimum length for largemouth
bite is
bass.
so subtle that I can just feel every little rock, every little bit of brush that this jig's crawling over, and that's the slightest little tick, and I feel it all. And I just need a couple keeper largemouth.
Good sign.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Harvey Horn with an over right there.
Maybe it's a good sign.
Yeah. Anything that's a 15-inch largemouth, there's 16 pluses with it.
Making a pretty good move today.
Yeah. Doing just fine.
The only guy yesterday in our top 30 with only 4 fish. He was 20th.
Well, this is our Rapala Live Watch. We're going to get to talk to Harvey. I think he's agreed to, chew the fat with us a little bit. Harvey, keep fishing, but tell us what you're working on right now, and have you been at this all day so far?
You know, Tommy, I've got a little deal going right now. It's really slow, really methodical, but this morning early, I was able to pick up a couple fish on a chatterbait, and a couple more on the big bite fighting frog that I'm always throwing. Literally just put a 3-pounder in the live well just literally seconds ago, and I'm just working these chunk rock pockets, and anywhere I can find a little section of solid rock is usually been paying off, and these lay down trees are holding a few fish too.
Harvey, one of the things that a lot of anglers were saying after the weigh-in yesterday behind stage, they thought that this front was going to definitely spark a bite. And what you told Dave Mercer was you did not feel that was going to happen. You thought, in fact, it could get tougher today, which plays to your advantage. Kind of talk about your thoughts on that.
The whole deal with this lake being as small as it is and the fish being as shallow as they have been the last couple of days, the amount of pressure that the anglers have put on them. It was my way of thinking. I've been over here quite a few times. Never really fished any big tournaments here, but I've seen the same thing just from the weekend pressure. So if that actually happens, it's really gonna help me out.
Harvey, we think of you as being, for a Bella Vista, Arkansas guy, being a Beaver Lake man. We look at the shoreline here with the buckbrush and the big slab rock broken off and the little pebbles as well. Looks very, very similar. Is it, in fact, really similar to Beaver Lake?
You know, it is. Being real similar to Beaver Lake really helps me, and you know, a lot of the other Arkansas anglers. You know, Stetson's fished Beaver quite a few times. Canterbury, you know, those guys have been to Beaver a lot. And to me, it's just typical September fishing where the fish are shallow, but it's extremely tough with the water falling like it is, and the fishing pressure that the lake's received over the last couple of days.
Harvey, real quick, we've had a lot of big-time slugfest, big bass events this season. This obviously is setting up as the toughest, and I hate this word, grind that we're going to see the entire season. Do you like these events coming from that region?
I absolutely do. You know, Oklahoma has treated me well the last couple of years in the Opens, finishing 8th at Grand and winning the Arkansas River event last year. So if it's a grind, I feel like I absolutely have a chance. You know, as long as I can just survive till Sunday, I think I'll have a shot at it.
Harvey, in broad terms, tell us what section of the lake you're doing most of your work in and why you targeted that section.
You know, Tommy, yesterday I stayed on the southern end of the lake. I knew the clear water was going to produce some big fish, maybe not a lot. And I was able to catch a fish that was, 3 3/4, just almost 4 pounds. And I knew that each day, if I could catch one solid, 3.5 to 4 pound fish and a limit, that not having that fish yesterday could really cost me by the end of this tournament. But, I'm still hopeful that I could put, maybe another good solid 3.5 pounder in the live well today. And that may help make up for that not having a limit yesterday.
Well, hey, we wish you best of luck. Get a limit, and we'll see it the way. And Harvey Horn out there from Bella Vista, Arkansas.
Solid
tournament
guy.
over here.
Solid guy.
Very solid guy.
Thanks, guys.
Horn's 4th fish should put him in 2nd place.
That fish moved him in a 2nd.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
It's a 3 pounder.
That's what'll be deceiving, like you were talking about, those shallow fish that are overs and those offshore fish that are overs. Yesterday, Dale Hightower had 3 overs and ended up filling his limit with spotted bass, only had 9 pounds. So those 2.5 to 3 pounders were actually probably 2s to 2.5s tops.
Those were really skinny.
Yeah,
those
really
are what we were
skinny.
talking about.
Yeah,
Those shallow, I mean, they were overs, but boy, they were rails, just big heads.
Well, those spots, some are coming in at 8 to 12 ounces.
Caleb Summerall, 2nd year on the Bassmaster Elite Series down in southwestern Louisiana.
You can see
having a slow season till he got to South Carolina. Then he made 4 straight cuts in a row.
You can see that he's kind of bailed out on that. He was fishing a lot more pockets, fishing just outside of those buckbrush areas that really had a lot of water on them in practice. And he said that's where a lot of his damage came yesterday.
Make a quick move. We heard him say right there.
We're gonna make a move. It's real short just across this other side.
Got to hear from Davey Height earlier today. A lot of anglers struggled early yesterday, all the way into the midday hours till the last really hour and a half of the event. First day yesterday, and thought it was just doom and gloom.
Oh yeah.
Doom and gloom. Right. Unreal. And that's when the tide turned. Really, the last hour of fishing yesterday. That is exactly
great point.
Such a treat in store.
Exactly.
For you.
Well, the treats, could be upcoming here. The real treats. That late afternoon
that was
bite.
Awkward.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. It was.
It was disjointed.
Kind of just in there gratuitously, you might say. Okay. Kyle Monte's hanging down to that lead. The only limit in our top 10, Steve Kennedy. Who's going to join him with 5 fish in the live well? We'll find out when we return.
Live coverage of the Cherokee Casino Tahlequah Bassmaster Elite at Lake Tenkiller will return after this short break.
At the pinnacle of super high output, 4-stroke outboard performance, you'll find Yamaha V-Max SHO, Yamaha's game-changing SHO technology. From exhilarating V6 models to the sleek inline 4s, there's a V-Max SHO for everything from bass to bonefish. It's an extended family of 4-strokes engineered for lightweight, inspiring performance, and rock-solid reliability. Discover V-Max SHO and elevate your expectations.
Wake the streets up.
Sleek new design with easy control file. The clearest images underwater with uncompromising range. Live mapping from the touchscreen. View notifications, video, even Google Maps on screen. And for the first time ever, real-time view of fish movements with live sight sonar. HDS Live. New from Lowrance.
The amount of vibration this dude puts off is second to none.
You can fish it fast, you can fish it slow. It's the key bait to catch them once you find them.
It imitates everything those bass are keyed in on. One of the best tools we have as tournament anglers is something that can cover water. You know, being able to move through unproductive water to find those stretches of productive water is really, really important for us. So something that we can cast and retrieve back to the boat at a pretty steady to quick pace is something that is going to be a great tool for me. And there's really not much better tool out there on the market right now than a bladed jig. This is the Terminator Shuddering bait. There is no other vibrating swim jig on the market that moves near the water that this bait does.
You know, there's a lot of different makers, a lot of different styles, but no one ever had one that I felt worked really good in the muddiest of water until I got my hands on these.
That cup design is very, very different. Most bladed jigs have a real thin metal blade. This is actually a plastic material, and having that cup is what makes it a lot different from everything else. It catches the water and actually moves the blade, which makes the whole jig move side to side so much more. That's really important when those bass are feeding heavy. If you look at this thing in the water, you can see that the jig head actually hangs down below the blade. So the blade's working, it's catching the water, but having the jig head set down below it, it's down there kind of doing its own separate thing. So they're working together separately.
And the other thing about it is big fish. I mean, you know, you're fishing for numbers, but at the same time, a lot of times I've caught the biggest fish in my tournament on a bladed jig.
And we've designed this to where it'll handle big fish. It's got a 5/0 custom VMC heavy-duty hook in it, and it's also got really strong components from the snap to the split ring that attaches the blade to the head. Every piece of it is geared towards you catching big fish on.
Man, that's a beautiful fish. She ate that shuddering bait right in the corner of the mouth, exactly how you want it.
It's just got a really, really good thump to it, and I can seem to get more bites fishing it slow, like practically dragging it on the bottom, actually.
The great part about this is it's heavy enough that I can make very targeted, low underhand casts, so it's not just an open water chunk and wind bait.
You know, just try to make the most accurate cast you can, and then when you get near the target, I like giving it a little snap here and there. Just seems like the more erratic your retrieve is, especially when you're fishing around visible cover like this.
When we were working on the shuddering bait, I wanted to pick out
several different colors that really fit my style of fishing, and we were able to do that. We've got 9 colors in it and 2 sizes, 3/8 and a 1/2 ounce. And dialing these colors in was something that was a lot of fun because we actually have the ability to match the blade to the bait. That's something that with most bladed jigs,
you know, you just don't have that ability. With the shuddering bait, we did.
We can dye that, or we can make it a matte finish as we did on like some of the black ones to where it doesn't have the flash when we don't want it. And the neat thing about this too as an angler, if you want to customize it, you can take that blade off and put it on one of the other jigs if you so choose.
Couple features on the shuddering bait.
Number 1 is a trailer keeper. You always fish this bait with some type of a trailer. Having a trailer keeper on there extends the life of that bait, and it makes more of your cast productive because your trailer is going to stay in place where it needs to be. I mean, an all-around great head design. That comes through cover extremely well.
A lot of the other baits that are like this, it's real hard to throw around brush like we're doing, but this one just deflects off everything. You just don't get snagged as often. You go back in there and you just think you can't get a bite. This is one of those baits that'll get you a bite or two.
That unique custom design cup lip catches and moves so much water that the amount of vibration this dude puts off is second to none.
It's the Cherokee Casino Tahlequah Bassmaster Elite at Lake Tenkiller, being brought to you live by Cherokee Casino Tahlequah.
Got just under a couple of hours fishing time for our 75 anglers who are out there today. Remember, after today, day number 2 of the Cherokee Casino Tahlequah Bassmaster Elite, we're down to 35. But look at Harvey Horn. We just talked to him. Obviously, he has struck again. Harvey has told us he wants these tough ones, these grinder tournaments here.
He's after quality, too.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Absolutely. He knows where to go. Got a lot of experience here at Tenkiller. It's a place he feels very much at home at, and so watch out for Harvey Horn. Said, look, you know, if I can get this thing dialed in just about 20% more, I got a chance. I could win this thing.
And looking at those weights right there, we talked about this yesterday morning. What a 3 to 4 pound fish can do for a guy.
Absolutely. It's just that's
I mean
the holy grail.
You literally you can lap 15 to 20 places.
For Harvey Horn there in second place, that was only 8 fish. He didn't have a limit yesterday. He only had 4. Only has 4 today.
At that 311.
Yeah, so that's big for him.
Yesterday there were only 18 fish over 3 pounds. Of course, Caleb Summerall's 5'7".
Got a little bonus coverage for you right here. Let's check in with John Cruz. Stalwarts all these many years. The Bassmaster Elite Series, John. John sort of sitting out for a second here.
He's busy. He's doing
busy.
some calling right now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll watch for a second here.
Check back with him in
We'll
a few minutes.
check back with John just in a little bit.
Gonna take and slide back around the corner right now. Not too far away. See Kyle Monty. And you know one thing you do see a lot more today? See a lot more boats offshore.
Yeah, and you said that would be the case from the very start today.
Yes.
You had snipped that one out for sure.
See a lot of anglers that were on the bank yesterday offshore today.
Let that other spot rest for a little bit. I found this area yesterday. I caught my biggest one off of it, but there's just not as much brush here. It's about half a mile away from the other spot. Not seeing very many fish either.
I'm going to say 26 pounds leads today.
26 pounds.
26 pounds. 26
13 pound average.
26.2. Okay.
Oh, I know what that music means. Somebody we've not seen too much today. Cory Johnston. Very solid day yesterday. Caught a lot of his fish off docks.
The docks I started on, I haven't fished docks yet, other than first thing this morning. I got one nice one, close to 3 pounds, and then I got 2 small spots. I've been holding off. I haven't fished my good docks yet, where I caught my 4 biggest fish yesterday. I'm trying to save it as long as I can. I'm hoping that the sun will come out, but I don't know. Once I'm done this little stretch here, I'm going to go down and give them a pass and see what happens. I just lost one here about 5 minutes ago. So, I don't know, maybe they're moving up. It's not that they're not under them, it's when the sun comes out, they suspend higher on them. And when they don't have the sun, I think they just kind of roam all through these marinas. So the sun definitely helps, there's no doubt about it.
Tremendous year. First year in the Bassmaster Elite Series for Cory Johnston. His 13 plus yesterday. And did him a world of good, put him within 6 points of the lead. Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. So, let's see. Okay, we found Stetson Blaylock as well. Haven't seen him in just a little bit here. Let's check in with Stetson, see how it's going for him today.
Well, it's almost noon. We've got 2 little spotted bass and just a barely keeper largemouth in the box. It's been pretty dreadful for me so far. I know, you know, a lot of guys fished shallow yesterday and didn't catch them, but today's a different day and I'm struggling. So I come up here and I'm gonna run through a couple pockets and throw a topwater and just see if I can catch a big one. I mean, if I could get just a couple more overs, I think that would be a huge deal. Just to kind of, I'd love to finish a limit. it's just been a different day. The weather's totally different. I mean, it's to be expected, but you got to adjust. And I've just now kind of made the decision to kind of leave what I started doing. I just hope it's not too late, and I hope I can hit the right little stretches and catch a couple solid keepers. Unless the weights go way up, I think I've got enough already to stay in that top 30, 35 cut, which is big. I mean, anytime you can make that day 3, it's an opportunity to make more moves. You just hate to be in the position that I'm in and not be able to stay there. But I knew yesterday was kind of a deal that if it worked, it might be a one and done kind of deal just because of the weather. So you kind of got to take what you get and adjust and roll with it and try to make something else as the tournament goes on. I don't mind to switch up and do what I'm doing now. It's just got to get bit to get confidence in it so you can kind of roll with it the rest of the day. That was a little one, but it could have been a Kentucky. But that's the bite I was talking about. That bite right there just gave me confidence to do this. Another one just missed it right there. Another one just missed it, little one, but it. Thing is, if they're keepers, spotted bass, they're keepers. I mean, that's all I really need is just to get some fish in the box. It's a good sign, though.
Got us a hot mess right here.
Saw Dale Hightower doing a good bit of this kind of fishing we're watching Stetson do today with the good results yesterday.
All day.
Yeah, all day he did it. Stetson just now adopting it right now.
Looks like I need to just keep the trolling motor up and roll the rest of the day, and just maybe I'll get enough break to get a good one. In practice, the first day I kind of did the deep thing and was kind of struggling along, and I picked this thing up, and the first 15 minutes I caught a 4-pounder on it. So something, one of those kind of fish would be a huge deal right now.
Got to be weird going from hopefully I catch a fish tomorrow in the tournament to like trying to win the event. Like you go into the day one yesterday, like I hope I do okay, and now we call them in the evening after day one and they're like, so you're going to win this thing?
On the other hand, my fear is do this all day and catch 4 or 5 and none of them be keepers, but that's the chance you take when you get up here and do something you hadn't been doing, which hadn't been catching them today anyway, so I'm kind of don't have anything to lose to try it for a while.
There's one underneath them though. They're all coming down.
Sometimes in our breaks, I think as we just rolled out this week, there's been a great video put together, sort of a rock and roll greatest hits, biggest bass video that's fun to watch, and of course a big part of that video is Stetson Blaylock. Stetson Blaylock, who's had a great year, but nothing could top his performance. On average, 1.5 first place to second place on Lake Hartwell and Winyah Bay. And both of those tournaments, especially Lake Hartwell,
he had a great shot at winning Lake Hartwell.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he has almost posted 3 victories this season.
Little hiccup to start his season, another one at Lake Gunnersville, but other than that, has been absolutely stellar. Thus, he is just a couple of points out of it.
It was something to listen to him talk about that right there, where he said, I might lock this topwater in my hand and do this all day. Well, we've seen Caleb Summerall do that.
Yeah.
Where you can go on a dry spell for 3 hours doing that.
And he hasn't got quite 3 hours left in the day. So that's kind of bold. We'll see if he has the resolve to stick with that.
And today the field is flipped by AOI order, so all the top contenders in AOI will check in last flight.
Okay.
Where they checked in first yesterday. So Stetson will have a longer day. Summerall, I believe, might be in the next to last flight. Cory Johnston will have a long day. Kyle Monty will be in the first flight. So that's the difference as well.
Cory Johnston caught a lot of his fish snapping a spoon later in the day yesterday. He said he has not hit that key stretch of docks yet. He's kind of been saving it. And he said it is a train wreck when you hook one.
Oh.
Seen that on so many lakes in this region.
Yeah, he said he's holding that last little stretch of docks for some sun to come out, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. He said he's getting wound up to go over there and give it a go here before too much time passes.
One thing, I didn't fish very clean today either. I've had several bites that I didn't get in the boat that, depending on how big they were, and if they were the right species.
They'll follow it, but they're not eating it.
Jake Whitaker's having a complete flip turnaround of fortunes. He had one fish yesterday. It was a nice one. He's got a limited 3-pounder. Just filled his. No, he's actually called a 3-pounder. He's got the biggest bag of the day, 9 1/4. It's up to 17th place. Wow. From 58th.
Small fish.
You get a look at some pressure around Stetson Blaylock.
And if you're just investigating this tournament, checking out Bassmaster Live,
on it right there.
Set to go off very early, the first month of the summer. First month of the summer, unfortunately, featured gigantic floods all up and down the midsection of the United States, Mississippi River, Arkansas River, White Rivers.
All right, we're moving.
That took our destination, our intended destination, Fort Gibson Lake.
I just like to catch every bite, man. It aggravates me when they won't get it.
Out of play, and this was our makeup date, and Fort Gibson still got a couple of barges that were stuck during those floods up against the dam, the last dam before the river.
Really?
And that's they can't drain the water till they get those things lifted out of there. So they're going to have to wait for the natural drawdown a little bit and then get some heavy duty equipment in there to get those barges out of the way so they can evacuate the water from Fort Gibson. Still not quite there yet, but you know, not quite there for tournament fishing for 75 boats. Now you can go to Fort Gibson right now and they can guide you to a place where you can launch and be all right, but as far as large scale tournament action, it still just wasn't quite ready to go, and we certainly appreciate folks at Tenkiller and
absolutely
folks at Cherokee Casino Tahlequah for allowing us to move it.
We've seen some great comebacks this year. By the time we get to Sunday, this tournament, this will be a very hard one to make a comeback in.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to. Right. One swing of the rod is not necessarily going to jump you over.
Very hard to make big swings here.
Yeah. Yesterday, our top 10 were exactly on the button, 1.5 pound separation there. So, no, excuse me. 3 pound separation. I lost my eyesight for a second there.
Frank Talley trying to extend his season. Just caught his 4th fish. He's got about 8 3/4 pounds. Jumps back into our top 10 at 9th.
Frank Talley fished the Classic to start this year, or at the start of the year, near the start of the year today.
I heard on stage Steve Kennedy yesterday saying he's still got a shot at making AOI. He's jumped from 38th to 8th place in this event. And with those 30 points, he'd be right near that 50 cut of Jake Whitaker and Bernie Schultz at 502 points. He'd have to pass a lot of guys, and a lot of things would have to happen.
I think it was one of those deals. The reason I marked him off the projected was because he was like 94 points from the projected AOI line with 9 guys ahead of him. So it would be impossible for, to beat all of those guys and have them fall at the bottom,
Yeah, he's 57th now. It was a big ask.
But go ahead, win the event and just, prove us wrong. Do it. The numbers were super close. Yeah, the numbers were super close to tell. And that's what's different about this compared to the magic number in baseball or something where it's how many wins a specific team needs. Here, there's 75 different variables if someone does catch them or doesn't. And
you got to pass the guys ahead of you.
Yeah.
Not just a spot, it's the points between.
Not many people thought that this tournament could be won this way, basically sitting on 1 or 2 spots. A lot of the folks that I talked to before this event, several of them said, you're going to have 2 or 3 totally different gigs going on to come to one to win this tournament.
And in this event, with those couple known things like the marinas and spoon fishing and stuff, Kyle Monty could do this whole gig the entire tournament, and for 45 minutes just goes and does that and salvages his day or his tournament, not even be a thing, but just, hey, I'm on my way and there's a marina, let me just stop, and then all of a sudden it happens.
Set a good bit of brush down there, a few flat spots, and here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle, got to sit down and retie that. I can just about tell you with a good bit of certainty right now. Take a break from Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at Cory Johnson.
You want to keep your eye on today, I think, still.
Oh, yeah. Pretty impressive fishing skills. I mean, this guy can exploit a place if he can find them, and here we go.
That's a big one.
Ay, ay, ay. What a mess.
It should be 16.
Look out now.
Yeah, that's gonna be 16, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Two of the right ones. Atta boy.
It's a huge fish right now.
Oh,
that is a huge, huge fish right now. Not only in this tournament, not only in the Angler of the Year race, but in the power pole. You know, that's
What?
our power pole guy.
Oh,
right there we go.
Afternoon power pole. Oh,
Is it
special.
the first time this year we've given the power pole replay of the day to the power pole guy, Cory Johnston? Cory Johnson has said it is an absolute train wreck when he hooks them in these boat stalls. And not only that, after the last couple hours of fishing, slow, painful grind.
I don't even want to think about how far
CJ,
he's
Cory
gone
Johnston.
without a bite.
Very, very, very big highs with you this year, enormous lows. I think Ron and Such and everybody needed that. Cory Johnson, you're the power pole replay of the day so far. And you know what? That right there, I hate to steal it from Kyle Monty. That could be the power pole replay of the week so far. Because that right there was the turning point in energy.
Okay.
Energy up. See?
Yeah.
Cory Johnson, power pole replay of the day.
He's up to second place.
That is a huge fish with what's going on with Stetson and Scott Canterbury today. Cory's a bit of a hot mess himself, isn't he?
Yeah, a little bit.
He kind of is.
A little bit, but good. He's good. Yeah,
hot mess, good.
You like spending time with him in the boat.
I don't. Do I ever? Woo!
Oh, big move for Cory Johnston right there.
Creepin'.
What will that mean at the end of the day? What will it mean to Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year points? Well, we still got more fishing to go before all that is settled out. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.
Such a treat.
Live coverage of the Cherokee Casino Tahlequah Bassmaster Elite at Lake Tenkiller will return after this short break.
For fishing is obvious. Whether it's a pro event or fishing with our family and friends,
we truly love the sport of fishing.
That's why our goal is to make every single Phoenix boat that goes out the door the best fishing platform it can be in both design and construction.
We love to fish as much as anyone, and we believe it shows in every boat we build.
Phoenix Boats, built by anglers for anglers.
At the pinnacle of super high output, 4-stroke outboard performance, you'll find Yamaha V-Max SHO. Yamaha's game-changing SHO technology. From exhilarating V6 models to the sleek inline 4s, there's a V-Max SHO for everything from bass to bonefish. It's an extended family of 4-strokes engineered for lightweight, inspiring performance, and rock-solid reliability. Discover V-Max SHO and elevate your expectations.
Mother Nature is my playground. When I hit the trail, I drive hard. And Mother Nature, she hits back even harder. Line-X protects my vehicle inside and out, guaranteed to withstand even the harshest of elements. I've learned that anything worth protecting is worth overprotecting. Because when protection matters most, I Line-X it. Visit Line-X.com today.
Hey Bass members, Dale Jr. here. As an avid outdoorsman, it is great to see that Nationwide supports conservation efforts to preserve fisheries and waterways. Did you know that you can get a special discount on auto, boat insurance, and more with Nationwide? Call this number or go to nationwide.com/bass to learn more. Nationwide is on your side.
Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing is back, and it's time for you to get in on the action. Sign up for free and pick your 5-man team to compete against your friends and thousands of bass fans from around the country. How will you stack up against the best? The grand prize winner will receive a 2019 Nitro Z18 boat with Mercury motor worth over $32,000. The 11 weekly winners will each receive a $2,500 Bass Pro Shops gift card and another $500 if you're a Bass member. Sign up and pick your team today at BassmasterFantasy.com.
You sons of fishes. Ain't enough fish on this lake for 2 clubs.
Really? Well, we see plenty of fish live with Panoptics.
Yep. Dang, we should get Panoptics. Maybe we'll just take yours.
What's going on here? You boys have license?
Yes, sir.
Nope.
There he is. Oh, I got him.
Succeeding at the highest levels of fishing requires intense drive. Doing so with a boat that merely suffices isn't good enough. To lead the pack, you need a top-performing boat that gives you a clear view of the goal. A powerful boat that accelerates you to the top of the leaderboard. Triton is always looking one step ahead. That's why it's the driving force of performance fishing.
Cherokee Casino Tahlequah is now open. More entertainment, dining, and convention options at the new Cherokee Casino property. With over 525 of today's most exciting electronic games, a 144-seat restaurant loaded with all your favorites, a brand new grab-and-go cafe, rock and live music venue, plus a full-service bar and complimentary non-alcoholic beverages. The game is better than ever at the new Cherokee Casino Tahlequah, now open 3307 South 7 Clans Avenue.
It doesn't matter what you fish, you need the right bait. Berkley Power Bait, now in 54 proven shapes. From craws and creatures to worms, grubs, swim baits, and more. And 85 sizes. And all are infused with that deadly Power Bait flavor. Fish bite and won't let go, giving you up to 18 times longer to set the hook. And that means you catch more fish. Yeah, it's time for a bigger tackle box. Berkley, catch more fish.
That's how you start the 2019 Bassmaster Elite Series. Woo! Oh, God. Yes! That is some meat from Lake Fork, baby. Yeah! Yes! Yeah! Woo! Look at that! You're mine! Yes! Baby, we legit now. Hey. Clock's right. Yeah! That's the biggest fish I caught all week. How about that for a Lake Lanier spot? Oh, yeah. We're getting somewhere now, boys. Yeah! Yes! Lord, please, get up in here! That's what I'm talking about! Woo!
Big bass, big stage, and big dreams. Brandon Cobb reminds us this is his home pond.
Got you! Woo! That's what we're talking about.
Scott Canterbury shoots out the lights.
Oh my gosh! Got you! Yes!
Inside the mouth, way down deep.
Oh, God. That's pretty exciting.
Giant.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Woo!
That might be a 10-pounder. Come here.
Yes! That might be the biggest fish I've ever caught.
do it. Don't do it. Oh, God, that's a giant. Stay on there. Oh, my gosh. No, no, no. Yeah. Yeah. Giant. Oh, my God, it's 5, 6. Holy crap. Come here. Come here. Punch, baby. Yeah. Wally. That's a giant. That's a giant. Boom, shakalaka. Giant bass.
Now we're talking.
That's a bass right there.
Keep catching them like that, we can do fine, just fine.
Yes, sir. That's a stud, dude.
Oh, God. Stick.
Yeah! How fat is he? Give me a hug. That's a big one.
Yes. I'm outdoing Seth's hug from yesterday.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh. That's how you make up ground right there. Oh my gosh. Yes. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yes, sir. Let's win this thing on smallmouth. No, 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 no. No, you don't. No, you don't. Giant, dude.
That's what you want on day 3.
What a way to end the day, man.
Yes! Boom! Get you a load of that, Bass Nation.
It's the Cherokee Casino Tahlequah Bassmaster Elite at Lake Tenkiller, being brought to you live by Cherokee Casino Tahlequah.
Kyle Monty of Florida having his best tournament of the year so far. We're still not even done with day number 2 of 4 days of fishing. Cory Johnston, we just saw him catch a good one. Boat Dock moved up into second place.
Did he catch another fish?
He added a 2-pounder.
Oh,
He's now only
yeah.
3 ounces back.
Boy,
His limit.
We may have a virtual tie. This is just these are estimated weights here. It's not official, so
Australia and Canada being represented here in the top 10. Have we had that this season?
No, we have not had that this season. No.
Ron?
No.
Okay. Stetson Blaylock started the day with the lead. He's down there in 4th place right now, and Stetson Blaylock and Cory Johnston, the 2 closest pursuers of Scott Canterbury, our leader in Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year points. It's the last event of the season. All of the above locked in to go to Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship. Now, seriously, Mark, we talk about the advantages that the guys like Cory would have when we go to St. Clair. Is that a real thing, or is it just about a level playing field for everyone?
No, there's going to be an advantage that Cory will have at St. Clair, just more than anything, what to look for throughout that event. Get down right now, a little bonus coverage, BC. Lee Livesey, I believe.
There he is.
Hey.
Hey, Lee.
Yes, sir.
Hey, tell us what's been going on with you today. You been down there all day?
Hey, for the most part, yeah, I'm just straight smallmouth fishing, so I was scared of everybody catching all the largemouth on day 1, so I'm solely fishing for smallmouth, for sure.
Lee, if you can, we got to see you had some real nice ones at the weigh-in on day 1. What has been the key to catching those better than average size smallmouth throughout this tournament, which seems to be hard for others to duplicate?
And I just caught a giant. I just got like a 22-incher, and there was another one in there with it that big. And
wow.
There's no rhyme or reason. I just found a school that's got some big ones in it. But I need 2 more to show up. I'm going to give that one a break and come back here in about another hour and see if I can catch that other one. She wanted to eat the worm out of that one's mouth. I feel like with the wind blowing, I could catch one on a swim bait or a jerk bait. But I did catch one on a swim bait this morning, but I'm about to run some new water and see if I can find something that kind of big in the next hour or so.
Lee, what's been your rotations of baits for these bigger smallmouth?
A swim bait, a jerk bait on the shallow ones. Oh, that one just came up schooling beside me. That was a big one right there too. Swim bait's messed up. A swim bait, a jerk bait,
then on my deep ones, a Nico rig and a Ned worm. That's it.
You said you caught one that literally just caught 1 minute ago that's 22 inches. What does that weigh?
She's skinny as a rail. I don't know. Maybe 3 pounds, you know? I mean, she's so skinny. So I'm not really sure. She's just skinny as a rail.
Well, Lee, we're going to let you fish on here. Hey, congratulations on a great season. Great season in 2019 so far. Rookie season, and let's take a look at our Dick's Sporting Goods Bassmaster Rookie of the Year standings right there. And there's Lee. Hey,
he's
right in there.
Yeah,
hung in there. Third place going to be hard for anybody to take down Drew Cook. That's going to be the task that's
would never
monumental.
Have thought his Achilles heel this year was the Lake Fork event.
Lake Fork guy.
For how he's done on every other single lake, that is stunning.
Oklahoman right behind him, Luke Palmer. Greg DePalma from New Jersey, well represent most parts of the country represented here. Garrett Paquette from Michigan, Mike Huff of Kentucky, Derek Hudnall from Louisiana. Ditto for Tyler Rivette and Tennessee's Gary Klaus. Wine representing our top 10 there. Patrick Walters had that lead to start. First 3 or 4 events of the season.
Literally a whole school of 5, 6 smallies right there. Can't get them to do anything. Terrible. Just had to.
That's Blaylock. That one's going to be short.
You never know, though.
Boy, it takes a special bit of discipline, determination to go an hour and a half without even a short fish. I mean, that's.
I definitely like the fact that I'm getting bites. I mean, that makes me feel good that if you reel it in front of the right one, he's probably going to try to get it.
Davey and you, Z, were talking about how, people thinking about the conventional wisdom might take a look at it and say, they're all going to be out deep. There's hot weather out here, but there are reasons for them to be shallow. Some of the right ones are shallow. But the oxygen situation there, a lot of people don't know. I was not totally aware that better oxygen up shallow like this could be this time of year.
And really, if you look at some of the really, really warm weather events that you and I've covered, I mean, I'm talking 90-degree water temps. Think of some of those. Alabama River, Lake Jordan, stuff like that. A lot of those tournaments were dominated in 10 inches of water or less.
Right.
And we've heard Bill Lowen say it in a lot of these really, really, really tough, extreme water temp. He said, you cannot go shallow enough.
Going shallow, going all the way to the very backs of shaded creeks.
But what's weird is if you really look at the footage from the last couple days, and a lot of the locals that we talked to said, man, this is going to be a random tournament. You're going to see fish caught really doing everything. And here's what we've seen is a lot of things somewhat working, but not consistently. Yeah. Whether it's a football jig offshore or a drop shot, and then you see Jess Tekarani, who said he caught so many fish yesterday swim baiting out deep. It's hard to keep one technique consistent here.
And the disappointing thing for a lot of anglers is, you figure, well, nobody's wrecking them. Nobody's just cleaning out a place like that. And there's plenty of fish in this lake. There's no way, a place could could be fished out. But yeah, the catchable fish can get fished out just
We'll
like
give her another
the
go.
full population if they're all catchable.
Real short.
We're going to get some TH Marine Weather Watch going a little later this afternoon. Get an outlook for what that sky is going to look like tomorrow, day number 3, with 35 anglers out there. The final day, Sunday, Championship Sunday, with 10.
You know, the one thing though, you were talking about going into AOY next week at St. Clair with Cory Johnston. It's a different St. Clair this year than it was last year. It is. It is a way different. There was a lot heavier bags last year caught at and not only that, Cory was in one of those FLW tournaments where they were, Chad Grigsby one, where they mauled them. I mean, big ones. And
Big
it was
weights.
a summertime tournament, but that section of the lake last year was consistent all the way into September. I mean, we were there for a week. This year, that is one of the more inconsistent areas of that lake.
Because of the long spring, or?
No, I just think, I think that lake goes in cycles. I think it goes, like anywhere else, it goes highs, lows. You see certain years where St. Clair has enormous weights that produce, and then the very next year, all the big weights come out of the river, out of the St. Clair River. I think this is one of those years where the river the last month has been way more consistent than a lot of the lake fish. Now that can change now that we're into September and stuff, but we're also having a lot of warmer than usual weather up there right now, which might not get that, that kind of fall bite quite going yet.
Is it going to fish small?
No.
You'll be able to.
Especially you got 50 boats. I mean, I know that there is, the one thing I do know that there is going, a lot of clubs and different classics go there. There's going to be a lot of pressure on that lake next weekend. I know we don't start till Sunday. It's going to get a lot of pressure Saturday and Sunday. But that happens every weekend there anyway.
Yeah.
So. I think a guy like Combs going into that, a guy that can go into a tournament on St. Clair this time of year and say, I'm going to lock a crankbait in my hand, win, lose, or draw, and fish for 10 bites, hopefully land 7 or 8 of them. You lose a lot of fish cranking on that lake, but this time of year, cranking on that lake produces way better than average size fish. You see that a lot.
More so than drop shot tube.
You still catch them doing that kind of stuff, but that if that crank and bite turns on out there, it is a major player to catch big stringers. It's just very, very hard to duplicate it at times.
Well, that tournament, Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year, kicks off a week from this Sunday.
Any more keepers.
And one of the interesting things is one of the ways a lot of tournaments have been won there this summer is every time that we've covered an event,
Not sure what I want to do.
And guys have caught them in the St. Clair River, it's been deeper. Drop shot and 17 to 30 feet of water. The St. Clair River has produced really big stringers shallow this season.
recall it being one, or at least close to being one, not too far from the canal.
Yes.
Absolutely. Close to the park there, Metro Park.
Yes.
So I don't know if that could be a factor this year or not. Somebody will keep that honest, I'm sure.
Well, I think it'll be good too. Just having a limited field in that, it'll spread the guys out quite a bit.
You mentioned it, Z. Your prediction of 26-2 for the 2-day leading weight. Tommy, Such,
Totally different day.
y'all got any predictions?
A lot more fish today.
I'm going to say a little lower. I'm going to say 24-12.
I was thinking 12 and a quarter a day, so I'm going to stick with that, 24 and a half.
I'll go 27-3.
Wow.
I'll go 1 pound heavier than Z.
Okay.
$1.
Oh my goodness. Let them chew on it too. That felt like a decent bite. Just stopped it. He's still there. Let's see. Now that feels like a little one. We just need the wind to blow and they'll start biting. Oh, wait.
Jesso, we can get him to talk to us about that swim bait that was so special yesterday.
You want to see the color
I
on
do,
that thing,
I
don't
do.
you?
I'm hoping
Yeah.
we can.
Always check when you're fishing rock. Point of your hook and your line right at your knot there. Especially using a light line.
He said it was key.
Yeah. This is a 3/8 ounce Picasso head that has an awesome 3/0 hook. This is a Gajo swim bait made in New York. And it's just a little 3 3/4 inch swim bait. Smoked copper, traditional, awesome for smallmouth. And wound up catching all the keepers except for one yesterday on that one. And I bet you I've caught 20 fish on it today at least, but I can't get any keepers. They want to eat it. But I'd just slow rolling that swim bait with 12-pound Gamma, 7.3 medium, Enigma fishing rod, and 7.3 to 1 reel. And you want to reel it as slow as you can till you feel that the bottom. So just fast enough where you don't hang up and slow enough where you still feel it. It's kind of a tricky situation. But you get used to that cadence and it'll do it. Now, of all things, of course, the last one I caught, I threw out there, picked up, and he had it and hit it on the fall. There was no rhyme or reason. He just grabbed it and took off with it. But This is just a big flat out here. It's got a lot of big boulders. If you see the shoreline, it looks basically the same under the water. And I found this pattern during the week, and I knew yesterday it should have been great for me, and today I was thinking it'd be just as good, just a little shallower maybe, or a little deeper. And I still have not figured it out exactly where those fish went. Shallow or deeper. I've tried both, and I catch fish in both, largemouth, smallmouth, and spots. But there's no size to them. So it's a little frustrating. You know you got the right bait, you got the right locations, and can't get them keepers.
Smoke color.
These are places where yesterday I was catching, 15, 20 fish, and today you roll in here and catch 3 or 4, maybe. Some of the spots, fish have just left them. I don't know what happened overnight. They were there yesterday, and roll in today and they're gone. So, got to keep at it. For me, it's a classic. So, I got to get to that classic, period.
Well, that was the whole setup right there. He said he's really been doing that around this area of the lake and throughout, he said, all 3 regions, from the dam to mid-lake. Uh-oh.
Fish in the boat for?
I think Frank Talley right there.
It is Frank Talley.
It's his limit.
A little bit of bonus coverage, Frank Talley. Been having a good day out there. Got to make sure it's keeper. Got to be 16 inches. When all else fails, you flip that measuring board over and try it that way sometimes.
We've seen that.
Yeah, we have. Oh, not going to make it. Oh, boy. That's disappointing. That is so disappointing.
Frank hanging in our unofficial top 10, and as we saw yesterday, that's it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Such, that is extremely unofficial.
Pretty much. Fluid.
Started in 42nd place, and with this catch today, this limit he's got in the boat, moving all the way up into 9th place. Frank Talley looking. It's going to be our Mercury move of the day, I believe, is Frank Talley. What? 42nd to 9th? Man, are you kidding me? That's got to be it. Frank, outstanding job out there today. What do you attribute it to?
Hey, thanks, Tommy. I just, putting the wheels down, grinding it out, throwing reaction baits, mostly whopper plopper and chatterbait. I knew it was going to set up like that. If we could get some cloud cover and get after it, we could get some fish to bite. I was in some areas yesterday that had fish. It's just with those sunny skies and hardly any wind, it's just so tough to get them to bite. So I knew if I could just get in enough yesterday to get by, to not be a disaster, I could actually catch them good today. I've caught in a couple limits worth of fish. It's just, finding, I need one better than average fish, and then I think I'll be doing good for tomorrow.
How close was that one we just saw you measure?
15 7/8.
Oh, no. No. A lot of that, though, going around.
And I got one small spotted bass in there that would have helped, but right before I came on, I also caught another one that was like 15 3/4. So it's like, I know everybody's weeding through them here and there, but it's just this morning that smallmouth bite on that whopper plopper got me going. That got me four over 16s with smallmouth.
You ever been to Tenkiller before, Frank?
Never have, but it sets up like my 2 home lakes back home, Belton and Travis, which, last year we fished Travis on the B.A.S.S. So it sets up a lot like those lakes, so I feel comfortable fishing them.
Frank, if you can, you made the comment that you started off and you had a lot of quality over smallmouth. What kind of stuff are you catching those smallmouth on as far as what's the bank like?
The bank is more, Zona, it's more like 22-degree sloping. It's not the 45s and it's not the steep bluffs. It's 22-degree is what I call it, where I'm boat sitting in 10 or 11 foot and I'm throwing it across parallel and 5 or 6 foot of water tops, and they're just coming out from, I know from the drawdown from the lake, getting drawn down so quick. It's they want to be up on the bank rooting around for crawfish because of the full moon and stuff like that, but that falling water's got them a little uneasy. So in my opinion, they're off probably 6 or 8 feet from the bank and about 4 or 5 foot of water, and I'm just throwing that plopper over any visible boulders under the water, just anything I can get around. And none of them actually ate it on the first initial blow up. They blow up on it, behind it, swat at it. I just keep it coming, and then they get it on the second time every time. So it's almost like, it's obviously a reaction bite, but it's just making them mad. They're not really wanting to, I don't think, eat. They're just more mad at it.
Mercury move of the day right
Mercury
there.
move of the day.
Sir.
That's what we're calling Frank Talley's move up the leaderboard. Frank, have you been staying in that section of the lake all day, or have you been making some moves?
No, actually, I stayed, Tommy, down south on the south end all morning till the whopper plopper bite just died on me finally around 11 o'clock. Then I made a move up here north, going up towards the river. I've got a few pockets I like to fish. That then I've been throwing this chatterbait, and we pulled in on that first one and caught 4 or 5 real quick. And so, it's a little more stained water up here, so I got that chatterbait going, and hopefully I can cull out that one last small one, and we'll have us a decent bag.
Hey Frank, at what time do you think you will put your rain suit on?
I haven't put it on all day, have I? Hey, I'm a man of myth, a legend, baby.
That's right. That's exactly right.
If you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly bear. Don't be one of them little browns, them little black bears.
Well said. Frank Talley out there getting it done today on Lake Tenkiller. Good stuff.
It was raining so hard right there, I thought it was snowing.
or hailing or something. Man, tough guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, big one.
Like that. We need the sun.
I mean, Jess Tekerani's on a different lake than these guys.
I know, it's just.
And those bands are just hitting certain parts as they move through towards the northeast.
Actually, the storm now, we look at it on the radar and it's kind of stopped the tropical storm rotation counterclockwise, and it's sort of the whole blob sort of pushing off to the northeast right now. And unfortunately, part of the lake is in that path.
Right. We've watched Kyle Monty really keep him honest today on different techniques. He did most of his damage early. If you were hanging with us earlier today, did his damage on a little morning dawn colored robo worm, it looked like, on a drop shot. And he's tried a lot of different techniques that have not helped him much. There it is.
It's kind of
pushing out a little bit.
Pushing up to Warren.
We get a lot of rain tomorrow.
I guess we'll get ourselves another TH Marine weather watch. We'll do one here.
It was cloudy in the morning, then turned to sun, I believe.
Okay, so sun tomorrow.
Well, it happened quick in the last half hour. Patrick Walters has caught
I
3
feel
fish
something
to
alive
jump
on the
into
end
our
of
top
this
10
thing.
at 8.
It pulls really hard. Come on, Lord. I need a big bite. I need a big bite. Big bite. See, big nick in it already. Just that one little snag there.
Do we have any word on Canterbury with Davey at all?
There's no word if Davey ended up getting gas or not.
We have to have that word first before we can. Yeah.
Struggle's real, man.
Oh, man.
Did get word Caleb Summerall is back at the ramp with some mechanical issues. Try to get a report on that shortly.
What's crazy about Jesse Tacarante, where obviously he has a rod company or a fishing company, you know, Enigma rods and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
None of this stuff would have been started. His
Last
pursuit
cast,
of the
Tom, when we're
elites and the
heading out,
classic wouldn't have even been started if he hadn't lost the wild card event at Okeechobee back in 2013 against Chad Morgan-Taylor. That's what's kind of set him on the pace of fishing the opens to qualify for the elites, because that would have been a guaranteed classic berth. And that's where really what he wants to experience the classic that bad that he would have never became a pro angler if he accomplished it then, but he's pursued it since then. So he's got a wild story just to get to the United States, just to fish, and then all the endeavors he's created since then. And he's put himself in position now.
We heard him say just moments ago, hey, it's all about the classic with me. And now hooked up.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Boy, bites are few and far between. But again, as we say...
keeper or not, but I don't want to miss anything today. Jeez.
Tacarante from Southern California all the way to Florida, and making his way to the Bassmaster Elite Series. He's got an interesting story, suffice to say. Jesse Tacarante.
My dad came from Cuba first and had to leave mom there for 3 years. Right after they got married, he came here and took off, had to work 3 jobs, not knowing any of the language. Just worked hard and got mom over here. I mean, I'm not ever ashamed to say, you know, I lived in government housing growing up till I was like 5 years old. And I'm proud of it. It taught me a lot of lessons. You know, my dad bought his first house in Vegas in 1972. And the time I was 12, I had a paper route, mowing about 10 yards. Dad just taught me to work. You know, I never missed a weekend with my dad, never. No matter how busy he was, no matter how much work he had, he always had time for me. ¿Cómo está, mami?
Bien, ¿y tú, mi cielo?
Bien, gracias a Dios, tranquilita.
Bueno, me alegro que estés bien.
No mires a nadie, te digo, I love you.
I love you.
Where's Dad?
He's there.
Where is he? What's up, Papito? What's up, Pops? You know what made me quit bass fishing? When my son was born, I was still fishing, and he told me, you don't want Cody's first words to be stranger. It's hard, man. That's what did it. Stopped me dead in my tracks, because my first responsibility is my son. And I quit. That was that. And I don't regret it for a minute. So once Cody was out of school, it opened up the doors for me. And I had the backing of my wife, of course, of 30 years. That's what they're supposed to look like. I set out to do it, and it took me 2 years to qualify through the Opens, and I did it.
Your brand new leader is Jesse Tenkiller.
And whether we needed to have it on the boat or not, I would definitely have it. I'm proud of that sticker. Cody, can you help me out real quick, Bubba? I gotta do a video real quick for AFCO. My son, he looks at it from a whole different angle. It's a business, and I'm glad he does that.
My name's Cory Taccarante. I'm actually Jesse Taccarante's son. I handle a lot of the day-to-day operations. I'm pretty much their support hub. If Jesse needs anything, I'm right on it.
And he handles literally all the logistics, getting it to our distribution center in Tennessee, payments, wires overseas, quality control. So, you know, we just work hard to deliver a good product to the customers at a fair price. And that's, you know, if you do that, I think you'll always be successful. I'm Jesse Taccarante, and I am a Bassmaster.
Very nice bass fishing story. Just an American dream and bass fishing. All goes together. And Jesse still hard at work, trying to make it to the Classic. Got to get to the Classic. That's obviously a long-held dream, and you could just figure out a way to get it done.
Yes, sir. My year's been a pretty good year all year. I had that mishap at Gunnersville, just stupid. And then, you know, I can't complain. I really cannot complain. Cayuga beat the heck out of me for whatever the reason. I had a great pre-fish there. Good enough that I didn't even pre-fish the second or third day because it was raining. I just stayed in the camper. I thought I had them figured out pretty good. And apparently so did everybody else, and mine didn't. So it doesn't surprise us with this bunch of guys, but it's been a good season. It really has. I cannot complain. God willing, you know, even 2 small fish today might keep me in the top 35 here, and who knows what I can get in the next couple hours. But, you know, getting the Classic is the ultimate for me. There is no, this is my second season in the Elites, and the first season I was dealing with all the neck pain and shoulder pain. I had the surgery last year, took it off, and this year I've been fishing as it's obvious up to about my standard, pretty consistent, and that except for Cayuga. That tournament wore me down. I mean, wore me down. So that's it. I really have nothing to complain. It's been a great season and great support from the family, sponsors, fans. It's been good, but we got to go. Time is running, and we got to run.
Disappointment at Cayuga for Jesse Taccarante. Right before that, made the cut at the St. Lawrence, 31st place. So peaks and valleys. Everybody's familiar with it.
Actually, Caleb Summerall at our takeoff. Highly not where you want to be this time of day.
Well, mentioned he had a battery issue at Gunnersville. We saw him switch to somebody else's boat on that final day. Battery.
Well, that's right.
$31 votes.
What are your options at this point, man?
What's that?
What are your options at this point?
The service guy, a battery sponsor, he should have a charged battery. He may have a charged battery. And the good thing about those batteries are 36 volts, so you just plug one in and that should get me through the last couple hours of tournament day.
Gotcha.
Is he just out of power? Just need to ask. Is that what the problem is?
Yeah, it seems like that's been a deal, something this year.
How about a water, buddy?
I'm good, thanks, man. So someone's bringing you one down, I think?
It seems it's just a battery issue, is what I.
That's.
Well, he's been on the trolling.
One charge.
He has burned a lot of bank.
He has spent some electricity for sure. And, he said if his battery sponsor fella can show up with a charged battery, he's back in business and can get another hour of fishing in, would be great.
A little bit of a dry spell for Kyle Monty. It's really, here we go.
Maybe it's a spot. I think it's a largemouth though. Yep, it's a largemouth.
Not 16 inches, that largemouth needs to be in order to make out his limit. He's still one shy of a limit here. Sure he feels like he can get up over.
Here we go.
Oh, okay. All right. Help is on the way and help is here.
Hang on, let's see what's.
Charge one with you. Our only real option is to swap at least one out. All right. And give me through the next couple hours.
Okay. Pull that one right there. I'll get another one.
You want to pull the back one or the front, the main one or the?
Either one.
Probably the main one, huh?
Well, they're both dead, so whichever is easier for you to pull out.
If we put a fresh one here, it'll feed the dead one because the main power's hooked up to this one.
Okay, just take this one off.
This one then, right? Okay.
Cool. Hey, French, here, try this one.
Good plan right there. And a little tip. This is a little safety tip. Do not drop a pair of pliers on any terminals of batteries.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. Somebody tell you about what would happen if that happened?
I've seen it firsthand.
Wait, so you're saying don't put pliers on each end at the same time?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Bad.
Point well taken.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Copy that. Kyle Monty hanging in there on top, just barely ahead of Cory Johnston. Cory Johnston in the last hour landing a critical fish, crucial fish. And he's got more fishing to do.
Carl's
all
still
of our
hanging in the
anglers,
mix
they're
here.
all hanging in there. Our top 10 has been pretty steady. We're going to take a break and come right back.
Live coverage of the Cherokee Casino Tahlequah Bassmaster Elite at Lake Tenkiller will return after this short break.
Almost time for me to go.
Well, what if I...
Drove me home?
What if we lost track of time?
What if we took a leap of faith?
What if you...
Missed my flight next week?
The all-new RAV4. Toyota. Let's go places.
Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing is back, and it's time for you to get in on the action. Sign up for free and pick your 5-man team to compete against your friends and thousands of bass fans from around the country. How will you stack up against the best? The grand prize winner will receive a 2019 Nitro Z18 boat with Mercury motor worth over $32,000. The 11 weekly winners will each receive a $2,500 Bass Pro Shops gift card and another $500 if you're a Bass member. Sign up and pick your team today at BassmasterFantasy.com.
If you love bass fishing, then show your support by joining B.A.S.S. today. With your membership, you'll receive every issue of Bassmaster magazine, plus $50 in free gear, including a membership tackle bag, B.A.S.S. cap, plus more. Click now on this video to join today.
Sleek new design with easy control file. The clearest images underwater with uncompromising range. Live mapping from the touchscreen. View notifications, video, even Google Maps on screen. And for the first time ever, real-time view of fish movements with live sight sonar. HDS Live. New from Lowrance.
It's just crazy. I'm still in shock. It just was meant to be for me this week.
We all have places we go that make us feel most alive. Sometimes it's a destination. Sometimes it's a pursuit. It's difficult to define, but when we're there, we know it. Time slows down. Smiles come easier. And the sense of calm is medicine for the soul. Now we join pro angler and 2017 Bassmaster Classic winner Jordan Lee as he takes us bass fishing in his home state of Alabama. This is his element.
So growing up in Alabama, it's really made me the fisherman I am today. There's a ton of different lakes that offer a different variety of fishing. Lake Guntersville, Smith Lake, you have spotted bass, you have river fishing, you have, piling and impoundment. So that's one of the reasons I feel like it's got me where I'm at today is growing up in Alabama. I started tournament fishing when I was early on in high school, 9th, 10th grade, and I started out of a John boat, a 99 horsepower on a little lake called Lake Atoma near my hometown in Coleman, Alabama, and that's really where I learned how to, read the water and learn different techniques, and I built off that lake, kind of carried that to Guntersville, where I really got into the tournament scene there. That's really when I knew that, hey, this is something I want to do for a living. In my high school years is when that all went down. College fishing was definitely a big step for me and a big part of why I'm here today. And there was a lot of opportunities that College Bass and that Bassmaster really opened up for the younger generation, and it was something that I took advantage of. And when I won the College Classic bracket, it really opened up a lot of doors for me. And qualifying for the Classic was a dream of mine. It's something that every angler dreams of, is fishing the Bassmaster Classic. And 3 years later, after fishing the Elite Series, and I was fortunate enough to win the Bassmaster Classic in 2017, and that was really the highlight of my career, and that's the highlight of any angler's career. So it's definitely been a dream come true. When I first got hooked on bass fishing, it was to feel that fish on the end of the rod, end of the line, and to feel that pull. And that's something that hadn't gone away from me since the first. I can vividly remember my first encounter with catching 4 and 5 pounders, and
when I was 10 years old, and that same feeling is the same feeling I get now, even after fishing professionally. Hooking that fish and finding that fish in the boat is something that that will never get old. And the tournament fishing aspect of it is, it brings out the competition. I'm competing against the fish, you know, day in and day out. There's always something to learn, and that's what I love about it. That's why fishing is my element.
Though they are often very different, each of us shares our own unique connection with the outdoors, a passion that drives us, defines us, and centers us. It's where we're most at home. It's where we're in our element.
Let's go. Wake the streets up.
It's the Cherokee Casino Tahlequah Bassmaster Elite at Lake Tenkiller, being brought to you live by Cherokee Casino Tahlequah.
Start of the weigh-in's just a little more than an hour away, and Caleb Sumrall, while we were away, got his attention from the battery folks, and he looks to be back on the move, and we'll
Yes, sir.
give it a quick check here.
Big thanks to his service. Got him going.
Very, very prompt and on the spot with the battery service. Get things going. Get out on the trolling motor again, like you say, Mark Zona. He's been leaning on it today for sure.
He has. He said he was going to totally exhaust his cameraman, and he has more than likely done all of that. Been a little bit slower than I thought it would be for Caleb today. Especially the first hour. Probably more consistent bites than anybody else we were covering early this morning. At least the first hour, you could say that. Taking a look at some of our anglers that have done pretty well today. See Derek Hudnall, Lee Livesey fishing down near the dam.
Talked to him last hour. Had just caught himself a pretty good smallmouth down there. Just strictly hunting down smallmouth today.
Take a look at where all of our anglers are fishing, and really it's that lower section of the lake. To really call it right at the bridge is where the predominant amount of the field has been. And once you get up past the bridge into the more of the river section of Lake Tenkiller, a lot less pressure up that way. Going to get out right now with Kyle Monty live.
Dude, he's long. That may be 16 inches.
What do you go, T? I'm going to go no.
I'm saying no.
I'm going to go no.
If it is, it's his fifth keeper.
If it is, it's
Not the biggest, but he's long.
Boy,
Come on,
it'd be a
baby.
critical one.
Oh my gosh, dude. So close.
Well, if you remember from this morning, you already got one line burner in there.
Yes, he does. He has a very close one.
You know what the penalty is for bringing in a short fish? 1 pound even. You don't get that fish.
And
either.
you
We've had a
lose the
search
fish.
team. We've had a search team out for the better side of 5.5 to 6 hours looking
Maybe
for
not
Davey
that
Height.
long.
I mean, Davey Height, we love him, and he puts in. But I've been concerned. There he is. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Holy cow. Davey, can you help dial us in? Number one, where you're at and who you're with, and what you personally have gone through today.
Well, it's a long story, but to be such
We've
a
got
small
time,
lake,
baby.
it took me a long time. Y'all are so busy in studio, I'll just have to save the story for a little later. But it took me a long time to relocate Scott Canterbury, and one of the big reasons is he's really been changing it up. We saw him fishing the bushes a lot shallow. He had good practice doing that, or above average kind of practice, enough to do what he needed to do coming in here. And it's just kind of gone away from him as you see more and more anglers moving off the bank. And last I was with Scott Canterbury, he had moved off the bank a little bit, but now he's back on the bank. I am with Scott Canterbury, Z, and he's fishing much steeper banks with just wood that's just off the bank. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday, that if those bushes get just too shallow for those fish to stay on it, then they'll move, and most of those largemouth are just going to move to the next piece of available cover, which is blowdowns or just wood that is isolated and stuck kind of along these steeper banks, and that's what he's fishing now. So here's the news. Here's what I know everybody wants to know about Scott Canterbury. He has 4 in the live well. Wow. Unfortunately, they're all small spots, so I'm saying 5 pounds. I got some other good news while I was looking for Scott Canterbury for the Drew Cook fans. No Marshall with him today. He's in 5th place coming into today, Angler of the Year. He told me he had 4 fish for 11 pounds. So that tightens things up in a big way. Drew Cook up around the bridge, fishing one very steep bank, spending a lot of time in that one bank. Scott Canterbury just a couple miles below that. And like I said, he is fishing his heart out. He's, just wide open, moving from one place to the other, no lost time, just trying to do anything. And he just told me, man, I just right now would love to have one more keeper spot in the live well.
4 fish for 11 pounds. Drew Cook, that's one of the best.
He would be 3rd place right now with 21 pounds for 2 days.
Davey, how was he fishing?
Well, he's fishing. He was cranking a steeper bank, but here's, I don't want to give it all away, but he's in one of those areas, anytime, Z, this is good or better than anyone. Anytime you're looking for those smallmouth, you need to think about current. And let's say Drew Cook is just in a pinched down, kind of a narrow area where I'm sure that current has been strong during this whole process of this lake being lower. And as it's being lowered, they have actually slowed it down because it's getting close to full pool. And I'm sure this area that Drew Cook is fishing, spending most of his time, is still got some current. So man, if he can catch that one more keeper, and the 4 that he's got are all over 16, a spot would help him tremendously. Obviously another 16-inch bass, smallmouth or largemouth, would help him tremendously.
Davey, full disclosure, we're here, this is the year of the fan. Today, this whole week has been a very trying week, very tough event for our anglers out there. We literally, Little Rock got we had a power outage for hours. Walk us through in Cliff Notes what you've gone through today where you've disappeared for 6 hours. Please.
I'm not going to go there, Z. I love you, but it's for another time. Let's just say that. All I know is Carrie and I have been working very hard. And when I did get back with you, we had some good information on Scott Canterbury, and also, like I said, good news tightening up the race. Drew Cook, certainly not in 5th place now. He's definitely has bumped in there into the top couple AOY and also the top 3 or 4 in this event itself.
You are an elusive little mongoose, my friend.
But good work on the other side. Hey, Davey, yesterday, or actually your first report this morning, you told us a lot of these better limits and bags of fish brought were kind of put together, at least topped off in the last hour of the day. Do you see anything like that happening today?
It does, and it's been surprising to me. I heard Z talking about just a few minutes ago. Okay, some are all, he did get some bites early, but man, you thought now that top order bite is going to just happen all throughout the day with these clouds. And it's windy out here, but not too much wind for a top order bite, especially you get up on the upwind side of some of these steep banks. It's certainly calm enough. It's been very surprising to me that the top order bite is kind of slowed with all these clouds. The clouds are starting to break. There's patches of some blue sky in certain areas. It's definitely lightened up a little bit. I think this afternoon you learn more and more about a lake when you're on it each and every day. This afternoon the top order bite could come back just like it did yesterday. And I'm telling you, it amazed me because it was super hot very little wind yesterday and bright skies. The last hour or two were huge for a lot of these guys that moved up the, trying to make the classic, trying to win Angler of the Year, that sort of thing. And hopefully we'll see some of that today. Keep in mind also that there's some guys out here with some marshals. I'm sure there's a few better stringers other than the Drew Cook, what we've seen from him. So it'll be another good weigh-in. Hey, we didn't expect to see a lot of 20-pound bags when we came here. It's September in the South. But, man, this is a tournament. When I had finally caught up with Scott Canterbury, and he's fishing – he's fishing 110%, fishing his heart out. Drew Cook, he knows what's on the line, I think. But in his rookie year, he's had so much success. And to have a chance to win AOY in his very first year out here on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail, it's just, I don't even know if he realizes what he has an opportunity to do this week and also in that final event on Lake St. Clair.
Davey, real quick, looking at some of the top performers on the leaderboard for this event, not really looking at the Angler of the Year situation, do you think this is a tournament that could be won on just one spot and one primary technique, or by the time we get to the end of the day on Championship Sunday, will there have to be some adjustments made?
Absolutely. You're seeing guys making adjustments now that are not really in the top necessarily, but a Scott Canterbury, he's been so consistent. He's a great fisherman, and he's jumping all over the place right now, trying to find that next move that he needs, and he's got enough time to find it. But here's something you heard some anglers talk about, and you kind of hate this term in a way when you hear people say they're junk fishing, because it's not really junk fishing. It's being very adaptable and not keeping one rod in your hand like I was guilty of so many times, and you see some of these anglers the same way. But you've just got to pick up different stuff. You got to just keep fishing the moment. You hear that more. And we heard of Patrick Walters yesterday talking about, I like these tough tournaments. I like the junk fish. Well, it's just an angler that can adapt each and every hour, let alone each and every day. With the conditions changing and these fish changing, with the water falling, it's September. You have a lot of bait out over open water. I've seen it all day long today and yesterday. It's just one of those tournaments where you're going to have to earn it. And to win Angler of the Year, to qualify for the Bassmaster Classic, you need to earn it, and they are certainly earning it here yesterday and today and throughout tomorrow and then Sunday for the ones that make the top 10.
Davey, you're going to be happy to know there's going to be a mass email to all you guys that are out in the field really killing it this week on where every single Pilot Flying J gas station is at the conclusion of this weigh-in, just so you know that. Make sure others that you
I appreciate that. Say, hey, I'll tell you where I've been the last 6 hours after we get off live, okay?
That sounds good. Davey Height laying it down for us, running down the story of Scott Canterbury, our leader, Toyota Bassmaster.
Hey, listen, we're here to help the guys in the field.
We're a support group.
That's what we are here to do.
Yeah.
With that news, Canterbury will salvage probably at least 12 points in the AOY standings.
But probably gives a lot back if Cook's in the top 12 going into tomorrow.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well, Cook was only started like the day 6 ahead of him in the daily standings of the event.
Very interesting what Davey said about Drew Cook not knowing the magnitude of what is which has probably got him fishing extremely loose. Really not knowing the magnitude.
Please don't tell him.
Yes.
That would be the watchword.
Yeah, wait till next week in Detroit.
Wait till next week after it's all said and done. Jesse Tacarante still with the swim bait there, talking about the need to get into. He's a bubble guy on the classic cut, right, Such?
Yeah, he's climbed inside the cut, and he's the first guy out right now of AOY. Of the classic.
Classic
43rd.
Yeah. He was more of an
58.
AOY bubble guy.
Yeah, he was.
But if he did get a top 10, he would become a classic bubble guy, and that's why he's in that position.
Man, it is gassing right there.
Yeah. Get some more sunshine, and of course, the last half of yesterday, everybody would say, "Oh, a lot better tomorrow with the clouds, the wind, and everything."
We need that sun back.
Those same people are going to be saying, "We have got to get some sun in here."
Sun.
Can somebody do something?
I just need a couple spots now. I just need 2 keepers of anything. Just keep me in the hunt. It's hard to catch anything right now. I would if I had my GPS. I just can't really lock onto anything.
Little flat spots, lots of bushes down there where Kyle's directing his attention. Seeing a lot more fish this morning than he is this afternoon, that's for sure.
Dang.
Young Patrick Walters, bonus coverage right in bottom right-hand corner.
It's fun talking to Patrick yesterday. Hadn't had a chance to do that in a while.
He's really concerned about his facial hair. What? I texted him after the meeting and said, you need to shave that thing off your lip. And then he didn't respond to it, so I thought he was mad. And then he said yesterday, oh, I just saw your text. Is it really that bad? And I said, well, yeah, it's pretty.
It's a matter of opinion, Ron.
I mean, I just told him, I said, hey, dig down deep in your heart, ask your fiance if she likes it, and then do whatever she says.
But check it out with you first, basically.
No, I was just encouraging him. I feel like she would be on board with the no stash.
Well, as we said, Patrick Walters, for the first 3 or 4 events, held down that lead. Dick's Sporting Goods Rookie of the Year.
Seen Patrick here, so heard Lee Livesey say that he caught him jerk baiting.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys changing with the conditions here today.
Made the bump up into the top 10 here during the course of the day. And the top 10 make another move tomorrow, and who knows? Tomorrow we go from 35 down to 10 at the end of the fishing day. Be very, very interesting to see who makes it.
Yes. I think listening to Davey, though, there still a lot of time left today.
Mm-hmm.
One after tomorrow, we'll also have a way better idea who's going to the AOI Championship at Lake St. Clair, the top 50, and who's moved inside that classic cut.
We'll have a way better picture after today, too. So with only 35, it'll be, depending on who gets trapped outside the cut, if they can't help themselves. There will actually be somebody tomorrow that's watching Bass Track and will be relieved because they're sitting at home and someone will maybe fall back from 20th to 30th and end up, you know, dropping back below them in points.
Yeah, you can miss the cut and actually gain a little ground, which is kind of the ironic thing.
That's why someone like Jesse Tacarante, who was so far back and made such a jump to the top in the top 4 today, has to stay there. If he gives anything back,
he's going to give it
10
back.
or 12 people can
pass
him.
Right.
some guys filling their limits, like David Mullins, who just got his 5th fish. He's only got 7 pounds, but he jumped to 7th and knocked Lee Livesey out of the top 10.
Z, do you think the winner of this event has 4 limits? Or do you think they come in with 4 one day? Because I've been thinking about that.
I say yes. The winner has 4 limits.
4 limits, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So again, some of our anglers have almost full hours fishing time left to go. Some of them have a good bit less than that. Kyle Monty took the lead over earlier this morning. Has been able to hang on. Cory Johnston having one of the best days among our top 10. Hartley Horn. Blaylock, who started the day with the lead. And more fishing on the way. We'll be back.
The Cherokee Casino Tahlequah Bassmaster Elite at Lake Tenkiller is brought to you by Nitro Boats, Power Pole, Skeeter Boats, Triton Boats, Talon, and by Yamaha.
Cherokee Casino Tahlequah is now open. More entertainment, dining, and convention options at the new Cherokee Casino property. With over 525 of today's most exciting electronic games, a 144-seat restaurant loaded with all your favorites, a brand new grab-and-go cafe, rockin' live music venue, plus a full-service bar and complimentary non-alcoholic beverages. The game is better than ever at the new Cherokee Casino Tahlequah, now open 3307 South 7 Clans Avenue.
Almost time for me to go.
Well, what if I...
Drove me home?
What if we lost track of time?
What if we took a leap of faith?
What if you...
Missed my flight next week?
The all-new RAV4. Toyota. Let's go places.
You sons of fishes. Ain't enough fish on this lake for 2 clubs.
Really? Well, we see plenty of fish live with Panoptics.
Yep. Dang, we should get Panoptics. Or maybe we'll just take yours.
What's going on here? You boys have license?
Yes, sir.
Nope.
There he is. Oh, I got him.
Succeeding at the highest levels of fishing requires intense drive. Doing so with a boat that merely suffices isn't good enough. To lead the pack, you need a top-performing boat that gives you a clear view of the goal. A powerful boat that accelerates you to the top of the leaderboard. Triton is always looking one step ahead. That's why it's the driving force of performance fishing.
Hey Bass members, Dale Jr. here. As an avid outdoorsman, it is great to see that Nationwide supports conservation efforts to preserve fisheries and waterways. Did you know that you can get a special discount on auto, boat insurance, and more with Nationwide? Call this number or go to nationwide.com/bass to learn more. Nationwide is on your side.
Sleek new design with easy control file. The clearest images underwater with uncompromising range. Live mapping from the touchscreen. View notifications, video, even Google Maps on screen. And for the first time ever, real-time view of fish movements with live sight sonar. HDS Live. New from Lowrance.
This reel allows you to cover more water, make more casts, giving you more opportunities to catch more fish. The new Revo rocket, Abu Garcia, for life.
Craig Morgan here to put a plastic drop-in bed liner head-to-head with our Line-X spray-on bed liner. Let's see which one comes out ahead. Let's face it, these drop-in bed liners look cheap. They're made of low-quality black plastic that's sure to fade, crack, or warp over time. Line-X, on the other hand, can be color-matched, is fade-resistant, and sprayed seamlessly over your existing bed. It's guaranteed to perform for life. So drop the drop-in and Line-X it.
At Phoenix Boats, our passion for fishing is obvious. Whether it's a pro event or fishing with our family and friends, we truly love the sport of fishing. That's why our goal is to make every single Phoenix boat that goes out the door the best fishing platform it can be in both design and construction.
We love to fish as much as anyone, and we believe it shows in every boat we build.
Phoenix Boats, built by anglers for anglers.
Do things. Be sane. Don't fritter away your time. Create. Act. Take a place wherever you are. And be somebody. Get action.
At the pinnacle of super high output, 4-stroke outboard performance, you'll find Yamaha V-Max SHO. Yamaha's game-changing SHO technology. From exhilarating V6 models to the sleek inline 4s, there's a V-Max SHO for everything from bass to bonefish. It's an extended family of 4-strokes engineered for lightweight, inspiring performance, and rock-solid reliability. Discover V-Max SHO and elevate your expectations.
It's the Cherokee Casino Tahlequah Bassmaster Elite at Lake Tenkiller, being brought to you live by Cherokee Casino Tahlequah.
Into the last of 8 hours of fishing, day 2 on this final stop of the year for the Bassmaster Elite Series, Lake Tenkiller. Tomorrow we got Bassmaster Live cranking up for you, regular time, 8 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, break, and then noon to 3. We don't expect any more interruptions of service. Better not be.
Hoping not.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, we're hoping. That was not good.
The fire
that
out
was
of me, man.
very frightening. Very frightening. Today the weigh-in 3:10. Whole festivity begins out there. Going to be at the Chicken Creek Marina tomorrow. Remember the weigh-in same time tomorrow and Sunday, but that's going to happen at the Cherokee Casino Tahlequah.
Fun place. I've been there.
Have you been there?
Absolutely. That whole area I've been to for. Spent a whole week down there last year. Had a TIME. Going to get back out on the water right now and just going to slide down near the dam. One just Tekarante.
She's been out there rolling that spinner, rolling that swim bait.
Smoked copper flat. He said that was the key. That was the.
Surprised we haven't seen any spinner baits today.
No. And several guys said you were going to see them. Have not seen that happen.
I think Summerall's thrown some, but that was when we had our power outage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in the gallery of him switching around.
Okay.
Throwing spinner baits.
Christmases.
Yep.
All of these anglers hoping to sort of get a little something, catch a little fire at the end of the day out there. And we're getting closer to the end of the day. The weigh-in coming up, again, as we say, at 3:15 Eastern Time to 3:10, I'm sorry, the festivities start. Dave Mercer will, 3:10 Central Time, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, correct. And Dave Mercer will be presiding over the festivities there. I think we have Dave Mercer, I believe, is with us. Yes, there he is, Dave. And Gene Gilliland. Guys, welcome. Looks like the skies are clearing where you are. We're getting a little sunshine, and is that's going to be maybe a harbinger of what we're going to be looking at tomorrow.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, it's a beautiful afternoon out here this afternoon, guys, and this tournament continues to be, a tough tournament. If you're just tuning in, you're wondering why. Well, we got a slot limit. We got all sorts of things guys are dealing with. But really, the whole reason any of these problems started, Gene, before anything, the event got moved, it's because of the water levels and because of what's been going on here. But if I'm not from Oklahoma, bring me up to speed. Like, what has happened here in the past year, and just give me an idea. Because, like you said, you'll hear people chime in all the time and say, why doesn't the Corps just drop the water level or lift it up or do whatever?
Well, Dave, it's one of those deals where in May we had record floods in Oklahoma. We had all of these lakes. Tenkiller was up almost 30 feet. We would have been underwater right here. And all of the lakes in this part of the state had record water levels. Then along came a couple of barges, and a lot of people probably saw video on the internet about a couple of barges that broke loose during that flood and hit one of the dams on the Arkansas River navigation system. All of these other lakes feed into that navigation system, so they had to hold the water back while they recovered the barges. Now that the barges are out, navigation is #1 priority. And they're dumping all of these other lakes to get them back down to the normal level to refill that Arkansas navigation system to get the barge traffic back in gear.
So it's just one problem that compounded another problem on top of another problem. I mean, and when you're looking at some of these weathers we dealt with, not just here, but all across the country all year long, Lake Ontario just a few weeks ago, the highest it's ever been in the history of Lake Ontario. I mean, pretty crazy stuff we're dealing with now.
It is, and we've seen more and more of that coming and going. The frequency of the storms has gotten more frequent, and the intensity. I mean, we're used to a lot of big thunderstorm type rains in Oklahoma. And that's why these lakes do typically go up and down like yo-yos. It's one of those things we've had to deal with from managing fisheries for years, is trying to figure out how to deal with these water levels. But the Corps of Engineers, they operate on their own rules. Congress says this lake is supposed to be at a certain level, and by gosh, they're the Army and they're going to go by the rules. And doesn't matter if we're having a tournament or not, if they've got extra water, they're going to get rid of it and get it down to that level that Congress mandates that's where this lake is supposed to be, dump it into the river, and that's just part of what we have to play with, both as, from a fisheries management standpoint and from a tournament standpoint. It's just part of the hand of cards we've been dealt.
It's really one of the unique things about this sport when you think about it. It's played in a public playing field. There's no other sport when you really think about it. There is other sports that are played in a public playing field, but generally they shut down that. I mean, if you look at rowing races and that sort of thing, so these guys got to deal with everything on top of it, and it's not just a headache for the anglers, headache for you guys, but I can see the Yamaha live release boats all set, ready to go, and another great event for Bassmaster Conservation.
Well, we're going to do our best. You know, it's hot. It's been our water temperatures are pushing 90 degrees. And that makes it tough. It makes it a challenge. But these guys understand they're fishing for a $100,000 paycheck and a chance to go to that tournament in St. Clair next week. So they take care of their fish, and then we'll do our best to get them back into the lake alive and happy.
Everybody's got something on the line here this week. Gene, I want to thank you for joining us again here this week. Always great conservation message. But, guys, I want to let you in a little secret. We're all a little bit excited over here because tonight is like prom night or grad night or whatever. We're having our year-end mixer, and the staff is very, very excited. And I wish you guys could be there.
We wish we could be there too, Dave. Absolutely. This is the end of the year party, you know, with the last mixer. You know, we couldn't make it in time. About 4 or 5 hour drive.
I mean, yeah, we can.
The boom shakalaka ball.
You know.
I didn't.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Gene.
We were not on that email chain.
No, we're not.
No, we were on the other one.
I just take it as implied that we're invited, but maybe not. But yeah, we'd like to be there. Congratulate all the 75 guys on great efforts.
Going to have some big festivities next weekend up in Detroit. So good stuff from Gene. Gene's killed it all year long, no doubt.
All right, we got the final hours of our fishing show, our Bassmaster Live, on the way for you right now. We just saw a few minutes ago during the interview, you could see Caleb Summerall catching a keeper, pretty decent keeper, spotted bass.
Totally unofficial hummingbird lay of the lake. Going to fly up just around the corner from our takeoff with Caleb Summerall. This was just moments ago. I'm spun out by this mixer that's going on. Whoa, Caleb Summerall with a spinning rod.
Hey! Oh yeah, baby. I've never been so happy to catch a 13-inch spotted bass in my life. That's number 3, baby. Oh, if you can't have fun doing this, I don't know what's wrong with you.
A little bit scratchy service there, but you get the point there. Very happy to get back in the game because it was just 30, 40 minutes ago we saw him up on the bank dealing with some issues.
For everyone, it has been for me today.
Fish number 3 for Caleb Summerall, bumps him up 1 spot from 6th to 5th in the standings.
That was a fat little joker.
Well, I will tell you, he besides this last hour, he committed to the way he was going to fish today. Did not stray from it.
Served him well yesterday, maybe not quite such a great outcome today as yesterday, but hanging in there.
I believe this is the first tournament we've seen him ever with a spinning rod.
I think that may be the first time he's ever worked one. I doubt it, though. guess we haven't been able to get you a decent picture of Cory Johnston. Cory Johnston, I'm sorry, this afternoon. The last
No, we saw him catch that.
Pivotal fish, yeah. To fill out his limit earlier. Caleb's so happy to get, like he said, I've never been so happy in my life to catch a 13-inch spotted bass. Let's take a look at our Humminbird lay of the lake, which will show us exactly right there where his 3 fish came from today.
I believe we have him with 1 over, correct? 1 over.
1 over.
1 3-pounder.
1 3-pounder.
There it is.
It was a smallmouth. 10:45 a.m. on a topwater bait.
Looked every bit of 3 pounds, I can tell you that.
Limits are critical. We only have 12 on Bass Track right now. Yesterday we had 42 limits.
Yeah. How many do you have right now, Steve?
12, a dozen.
Again, several without Bass Track.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yesterday I believe we were over 20 by this time.
Taking a look at Caleb Summerall's fish catches right there.
Spend his time, what you'd call the upper third of Lake Tenkiller here.
There we go.
Got a Cory Johnston.
Cory?
Cory. That's twice in a row. I'm just pulling for Chris so hard.
I know you are.
Got a brother named Chris, yeah.
He's your guy.
That's not true.
No, because I thought
no
Cory was
favoritism.
is he switching? Is he
each
changing
brother has equal standing.
Well, I'll tell you, I made this comment to you and Davey during the St. Lawrence tournament, and it was the best line of the season. It was the power pole line of the season. So Cory had his horrific day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Horrific. And got to go out to dinner going into the final day, and Chris was at the table and said, man, I've lost so many fish. And Cory said, well, why don't you change your hook? You might actually win this tournament. As it tees up into the power pole replay of the day, Cory Johnson did not miss a beat. And he looked at his brother, who was late for the day one weigh-in. He said, I'll do that. I'll change my hook. Why don't you buy a watch, Cory? Fantastic line. I know what that music means right there. Could mean only one thing. Best thing ever in the history of day two here at Lake Tenkiller. It's the power pole replay of the day, and I don't know where we're headed. Oh, yes, I do know where I'm headed there, Ron. I'm headed there. I have to. This catch was such a treat. This day was so trying for the production crew. We lost power. We know Davey Height has had some struggles out there today.
Yeah.
Cory Johnston, your title sponsor is Power Pole, and now you are the Power Pole replay of the day.
He's certainly tiptoeing towards the leaderboard, top of it.
Tiptoeing through the leaderboard. Good stuff right there from Cory Johnston. Yes, it is. It's been one of the toughest Bassmaster lives we've covered this day, too.
Today probably ranks right at the very top of that list.
The top.
Yes.
Exactly right. Good job from Cory Johnston right there. That fish, possibly one of the most critical of his season. Some knuckles right there.
A few ounces away from Kyle Monty. He may be in the lead. These are all estimates right now.
We'll get back to Kyle
If
Monty.
he can keep that, if he does wind up as the leader today, six spots moved up.
Absolutely.
So that's a bunch more.
I like that. I like that tiptoeing through the leaderboard. That was good. That was good.
Tiny Tim. Ronnie has no idea who Tiny Tim is.
I do. I just don't understand how it applies.
We tiptoed through the tulips.
Oh.
Back out on the water right now with Kyle Monty live.
Jake Whitaker, he just called with the 2-pounder. He's got our biggest bag on Bass Track today at 10.5 pounds. We know Drew Cook has around 11 maybe with 4.
Very interested to see Kyle Monte's deep plays tomorrow morning. Well, he did not start on it this morning. I would guess he is seeing how fast they bit when he got there later this morning.
I think you're right. He'll be headed right straight there.
I'm gonna make a couple more casts and then I'm gonna go back out to that where we just marked those fish. In there too.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, go the distance.
Yep.
Mm-mm. Oh, yeah. We're going to put him on the tiny side.
Was that 8 ounces?
Yeah, half a pound. That's a tiny guy.
He's on fire.
He is.
Something's going on out there. Bass Track just lit up green. Tyler Rivette, a 2-pounder. Brandon Lester, a 1-pounder, his limit.
Tyler Rivette just outside the top 10 in 11th place. Of course, we're looking to identify the top 35 today. They'll fish tomorrow.
4.
Number 4 for Caleb. As modest as it was, that one might move him up a spot. I'd swap him out with Harvey Horn.
It's like a fish.
See, this guy's clearing quite a bit right around Cory Johnston.
Is this the boat dock that played so big in the college a year ago in the College National Championship, Carhartt Bassmaster College National Championship?
I don't think so. Cory's been in a marina that's kind of tucked in a little pocket. The one that factored was really in a longer creek, and there was a bunch of solo docks, maybe like half a dozen solo docks, and then a big marina. This one just seems like it's just a marina with a break wall, and the one we mentioned, or the one last year, didn't have a break wall either.
Just got confirmation from Davey Height out in the water right now. Still Scott Canterbury with 4 small keepers.
Okay. Davey's showing some good persistence and get back in the game. He's had his struggles. Like you said, he's had his struggles today.
It's been a group effort. Such a treat.
One big one on the spoon. They were just smashing it yesterday. I don't think a 4-pound smallmouth won't latch onto this little underspin now. Well, I've caught some big smallmouth on it. Yeah. Last fall at Pickwick, Nation Championship, that's how I caught them.
Oh, wow. Nice.
There's a pile of fish right there under the boat. Look like little spots or something, but
Monty moved out to a spot where he said he marked some fish just a little bit ago. See if he can relocate them and do what's been hardest to do for everybody today, get them to bite.
It's the highest skies we've seen all day right there.
Yep. Looking pretty much odds on for sunny skies tomorrow.
This one's going to go to the end of the wire this weekend.
Oh yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. And it's going to be try to endure and conquer if you possibly can.
But you know what's weird is we say that. We've said that about the last couple events, and it actually has not really gone down to the wire.
No. It's been kind of blown away in the last day.
Exactly right.
Don't know if that's going to happen this time around. Likely to be very, very close as we get to Championship Sunday, but we got a lot of work to do before then.
No doubt about that, Tommy Sanders, and we'll really be able to dive in to that Angler of the Year race. And the other thing is, if you watch the day one weigh-in, we were a little bit surprised at some of the weights that came in after we went offline.
Surprises on the way at 4:10 p.m. Eastern Time, the weigh-in right here on Bassmaster.com. We'll see you tomorrow on Bassmaster,
the live show.